They stopped flights from Europe, of course, but there's still flights to other places. I was supposed to go to Baku very soon. At this moment, all the reasons I normally travel for, I go to conferences and activities like that, they have all been stopped.
Hello Baku! Hello Europe!
Dear participants of the Imagine Euro Tolerance Festival 2020.
Do you think it's the right moment to make films? Well, we believe it is.
We are in the beginning of May and we are still on lockdown because of the coronavirus pandemic.
I'm very proud of the film. I wouldn't say it in normal times, but the film could not appear in normal times.
And in this difficult situation, our values are being tested.
Let's take solidarity. We can overcome this crisis only if we stay united, if we coordinate our actions, if we share information, and if we open up to the world.
Let's take, for example, tolerance. A tolerance is when you accept someone's opinion which is different from yours.
It has taken us 1 month to imagine, shoot and wrap this film Home Arrest. We've done it from lockdown.
Home arrests just popped up like the pandemic.
Someone might think that home arrest is about people who locked up in the middle of a pandemic at home. But in fact, home arrest is about values that our heroes broadcast to the world.
It doesn't matter how many people watch our film or if Home Arrest will become a hit at festivals. What does matter is what 6 people say on camera to support others.
We've done this film Home Arrest to show that even at this unimaginable time, we managed to stay humans, capable of love and compassion, capable of listening and hearing each other.
The values such as tolerance, diversity, acceptance have no national boundaries.
I would be happy if Home Arrest keeps people at home, at least for 2 hours, maybe longer.
Enjoy Home Arrest and
please stay well.
Gesundheit.
Santé.
Felicità.
Stay healthy.
Reste en bonne santé.
Reste buon
Stammi bene means in Italian, may you be healthy for me. Stammi bene.
Hi, ich könnte dich eigentlich schon lange nicht anrufen. Ich wollte erzählen, was bei uns hier abgeht mit Coronavirus. Also eigentlich nicht zu viel, weil ich hier in einem Dorf wohne. Aber trotzdem haben wir eine Ausgangssperre hier und wir dürfen nicht rausgehen.
Эпидемия, она не миф. Но том, что гражданам не надо выходить на улицу, это уже полная глупость, конечно. Сидя на диване, вы подвергаете себя именно психологическому стрессу. От психологии человека очень зависит, заболеет он или нет.
I thought it would be like the previous one, SARS. SARS, that remained an East Asian phenomenon. So that's the part that caught me by surprise when it arrived here. And now that it's gone global, I actually don't agree with the idea of doing these closing measures at all.
So in regards to this being man-made, it wouldn't surprise me if it was, but I'm not going to I wouldn't bet money on it, you know? I'm just more concerned about the whole thing being contained and people being kept safe.
Siamo stati tra i primi a renderci conto di ciò che stava accadendo e quindi abbiamo ricevuto queste informazioni praticamente dalla Cina. Hanno chiuso da subito le scuole. E cosa è successo? Io ho anche due figli di 10-11 anni e...
Les personnes qui ont des enfants, c'est très très difficile parce qu'il faut occuper les enfants. Beaucoup de Parisiens sont partis dans des maisons de campagne pour pouvoir au moins que les enfants puissent sortir dans les parcs, enfin dans les jardins, puisque les parcs à Paris sont fermés. Donc je te tiendrai au courant et puis on se donne des nouvelles. Heureusement, il y a Internet, il y a le téléphone.
Je vous ai dit il y a quelques jours que nous étions engagés dans une guerre.
Deutschland hat ein exzellentes Gesundheitssystem.
Sa di medici disponibili a recarsi.
Stop the spread of the virus. Stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives.
happened to your mobile? I can't get through. Did you get my message? Look, I'm sorry you got stuck. The airport's really collapsed almost everywhere, but I'm sure it won't be long. I read here that there aren't many infected in Moscow, so I think you're safe. But still, stay in the hotel, please. We are very worried about you. Take care. Bye.
You see that yellow suitcase? I bought it on sale a month ago on Oxford Street. I'm still afraid to fly, but I thought the color would make business trips more fun. My son likes it too. Oh yes, my name is Jen. I'm a journalist, and we often find ourselves in pretty weird situations. But what is happening now is it's crazy. I'm not yet freaking out. I just don't know yet how to change my flight or get home, or if I'll be quarantined here. So I have to move and get out of here fast.
I first heard about the coronavirus basically through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and to be honest, I didn't really take it seriously. It wasn't until I started hearing and seeing the news reports about how they were, trying to go into lockdown and the amount of people that had died, and it had been affecting basically other countries. So you got Italy, France, basically countries that were close to us. That's when I started to take it seriously, and then obviously, here we are now on a lockdown.
Ci siamo trovati in una condizione di non solo lavorare, ma anche gestire una condizione a casa con dei bambini che avevano praticamente non avevano più la possibilità di andare a scuola. E come sapete, anche dal 10 marzo l'Italia, tutta la nazione è considerata come zona rossa, quindi praticamente ha chiuso tutte le attività. Questo virus è pericoloso ma non è rischioso. Cioè, questo è un termine che noi tecnici conosciamo anche molto bene. Il pericolo è un dato oggettivo.
Also, was mich echt abregt, ist, dass einige Leute, ich sage auch, scheißen drauf auf die Regeln. Die gehen raus und machen sogenannte Corona-Partys, wo die Leute rausgehen, darüber Witze machen, und das ist eine Veranstaltung, wo mehr als vielleicht 20, 30 Leute sind. Und ich finde das echt dumm, dass die Leute das machen. Und ich habe selber Freunde, die mir einfach schreiben, ey, komm mal zu uns, wir machen da neben Aldi auf Parkplatz, chillen da und machen da Corona-Party. Ich denke mir so, Leute, warum macht ihr das? Wir haben jetzt Quarantäne, du musst eigentlich zu Hause bleiben. Also ich finde, ja okay, du kannst mit deinen Freunden treffen, du hast ja auch dafür Internet, aber du musst ja nicht mit 30 Leuten treffen, saufen, und irgendwann wird jemand davon krank und danach verbreitet das durch alle Leute, die da auf diese Party warten.
Закон на улицу не выходить. То есть вопрос...
Да нет такого закона.
Нет
закона.
Только что, можешь прочитать уже. Значит,
нет закона.
Если засекут, штраф в 20 МРОТ. Но дело в том, что все пенсионеры, если есть одинокие, ходят в магазины. Вот могу внести поправку. Уже такое ограничение, что слов нет.
Я могу сказать, что то, что передает моя жена, да, это заведомо ложная информация.
Нет, не надо.
Но нет такого закона.
Только что вышло постановление.
Какое постановление?
Ну, хорошо, прочитай, все.
Ну, где прочитать-то?
Не знаю.
Тогда закрой дверь, пожалуйста, и все. Моя жена, она, видите, она очень легко восприимчива к любой информации, которую она получает от своих приятельниц. Те, в свою очередь, тоже черпают информацию из интернета. Есть категория граждан, которые, так сказать, восприимчивы к психологическому давлению, которое оказывает средства массовой информации. Когда ему кто-то говорит с экрана, причем таким внушительным голосом, он начинает в это верить. Из-за этого рождаются всевозможные мифы, и они циркулируют в обществе. Хотя между собой они мало связаны, либо не имеют никакой научной основы. помимо коронавирусов, у нас есть другие вирусы, которые не менее опасны, чем коронавирус. Например, вирус герпеса. Он также вот плавает в воздухе. Если у вас будет подавлена иммунная система, вы обязательно заболеете.
I read the China bulletin every day, and that bulletin started writing about the coronavirus by the first days of January. And then the Chinese New Year happened, the 19th of January, according to our calendar. And the fact that the city of Wuhan decided to proceed with this mass lunch, a mass lunch for 40,000 people, this was already noted fact as a dangerous thing to do in a city where there is an outbreak. And the first one was committed by the local Wuhan people who did not want to throw away 40,000 sandwiches or 40,000 pork sausages. And the second stupidity was done by Xi Jinping himself. But the order came, don't move, don't leave. And of course, the Chinese, as soon as they heard the government saying, stay in Wuhan, all of the ones who came from some other place went there. So as many as 500,000 people left Wuhan after the order was issued and before they actually physically closed it with every road closed and every access and so on. So I followed these things quite early on. What I didn't realize, and I should have realized but did not realize, was that because China is not Sierra Leone with Ebola or some other place like that, but it's a place where just Wuhan airport had so many flights to the world, including flights straight to Italy, flights to America, I did not realize that it would become global.
Mais on se disait, c'est pas pour nous, c'est en Italie, ça viendra pas jusqu'en France, on est tranquille, et finalement la vie continuait jusqu'au jour où finalement le gouvernement nous a appris que en France aussi il y avait la pandémie, il y avait le coronavirus, et il fallait rester chez nous le plus possible de façon à ne pas donner le virus aux autres et surtout aux vieilles personnes qui sont en fait les personnes les plus fragiles. Donc ça fait une semaine qu'on reste à la maison. Alors des personnes qui peuvent travailler de chez eux travaillent de chez eux avec Internet, l'ordinateur, le téléphone. Ceux qui ne peuvent pas télétravailler, ils restent chez eux, ils font ce qu'ils peuvent. Et puis il y a les personnes qui doivent travailler, les personnels soignants, les docteurs, les infirmières, les personnes qui s'occupent des poubelles, les taxis, les transports en commun. Tout cela continue d'avoir une petite activité pour que les personnes qui vont travailler puissent aller travailler malgré tout. Donc ça fait une semaine qu'on ne peut pas sortir. Pour sortir, en fait, on a une attestation dérogatoire c'est un papier en fait qu'on doit montrer quand on sort avec notre carte d'identité pour pouvoir nous déplacer pour aller faire des courses de première urgence, pour motif familial impérieux ou pour motif de santé. Et si on n'a pas ce papier sur nous, avec notre carte d'identité, on a une amende de 135 €. Puisqu'en fait, la France, finalement, elle est Elle suit l'exemple en fait de l'Italie et on a une semaine à peu près d'intervalle.
Personalmente, visto che io mi occupo di prevenzione, insegno proprio risk assessment, mi sento di dare qualche consiglio, cioè di appunto non starcene seduti a casa, ma cercare di fare qualcosa a casa, quindi gestire appropriatamente i nostri pensieri, non abbandonarci a queste sensazioni negative, cercare di inserire dei momenti di consapevolezza e concludere la giornata realizzando qualcosa di utile per noi. Anche se piccola, però magari facciamo un po' di ginnastica, degli esercizi di respirazione diaframmatica, facciamo delle diete sane. Questo almeno personalmente io lo applico con me, la mia famiglia, e la spiego anche ai miei amici e ai miei parenti. Evitiamo grassi, dolci, di bere troppo alcol. È fondamentale che ci attiviamo, ci muoviamo. Teniamo conto che questo virus è pericoloso principalmente per i soggetti deboli, gli immunodepressi. Io ad esempio ho 2 nonne di 90 e di 95 anni che non posso vedere, che per ovvie ragioni non vado a trovare, però le sento per telefono, e quindi insomma, anzi se posso faccio anche un saluto alle mie nonne. Ciao nonna!
I clarified the situation for you. Yes, we have sent your contact to the sanitary authorities. It's now mandatory for all transit passengers. If any restrictions, I will inform you right away. By the way, there are no changes in our hotel. We stay open. Don't worry. But unfortunately, we cannot confirm your next flight. We can't reach the airline's office. As soon as we get in touch with them, I'll call you back. Have a nice day.
Единственное, я говорю, здесь либо ходить в противогазе, но это полная глупость, либо соблюдать определенные меры, то есть чаще мыть руки. Это конспирологическая теория по поводу специальности вирусов. Возможно, его сделали специально. В 20 веке появился такой термин, как биологическое оружие. В отличие от ядерного оружия, вырастить бактерии и микроорганизмы гораздо проще и дешевле. То есть бактериологическое оружие является как бы оружием бедных стран. И вполне вероятно, что не только страны этим занимаются, но и какие-нибудь террористические группировки, которые, так сказать, при наличии определенной лаборатории могут вырастить что угодно.
If it came out that had been man-made, I'd be more upset and angry than shocked. That's how I see it. But then in saying that, I mean, like, we're a species which is what, thousands and thousands of years old. So I mean, we've had the flu before, we've had smallpox, we've had measles. I don't understand why everybody is so like surprised that a new strain of something has come out. It was only a couple of years ago we had swine flu. Then we had we had bird flu.
Also ich habe so nachgedacht, was könnte passieren, wenn alles schlimmer geht. Also viele Prognosen sagen, dass es schlimmer wird. Ich bin natürlich nicht der Meinung, dass es jetzt alles runtergeht, aber trotzdem, was könnte passieren, wenn das so schlimm wäre? Ich glaube, Maximum, was passieren könnte, ist, dass unsere ganze Wirtschaft runtergeht und deswegen werden die Preise erhöht, Leute verlieren ihre Arbeit und das ist noch schlimmer. Die rechtsradikalen Parteien können dann höher kommen, weil die sagen irgendwie, ja, wir wissen, wie es alles weggeht, aber eigentlich nicht. Und das wird komplettes Chaos passieren auf diesem Planet. Und eigentlich will ich das nicht, aber das wird echt schlimm. Wenn das passiert, also wie ich schon gesehen habe, Leute machen Panik und das bedeutet, wenn das schlimmer wird, dann würde noch mehr Panik sein, Chaos, Leute würden alles kaputt machen, komplette komplette Regierung wird runtergehen.
I believe that is a mistake, and I agree with the virology experts, the virus experts, who originally advised the British government, Prime Minister Johnson, and also the Dutch government. And that advice originally was do nothing. Let the virus go through the world population. There will be some people killed, like every year, many people are killed by influenza. There'll be maybe more people killed. And then the world population will adjust to the virus, develop natural resistance. And that was the original advice. And that advice is from the virus experts. But then the doctors spoke. And the doctors, they think about one patient at a time. They say, oh my God, people will die. Yes, people will die, but they die every year from influenza. Many more, by the way. Many more from influenza. So that original idea, there was a scientific idea, was to do nothing. And let the virus go through the world population, and then the world population will get used to the virus, and then it'll become just another of those viruses that come and go.
Is it China's fault or not? I don't know. But it seems to be true that Chinese tourists are responsible for spreading the virus. Remember, in recent years, there has been so much talk about Chinese tourists flooding Europe and the US, how much they spend abroad, how much they travel, and then overnight, tourism collapsed and Chinese tourists have disappeared, and so has everyone else. All this leads me to believe is that mankind cannot stop when it needs to. Just slow down, slow down. Not only with tourism, but also with the environment or even inequality. It seems that some higher powers send us special signs with this coronavirus. Mankind, stop, think.
Oui, sur Internet, puisqu'en fait, notre président, quand il a annoncé le coronavirus et le confinement, il a dit que nous étions en guerre. Et il y a des blagues qui circulent sur Internet, comme quoi nos grands-parents, eux, quand ils sont partis en guerre, ils sont partis en guerre, avec les armes, le sac à dos et tout. Et puis nous, on part en guerre, mais on reste dans notre canapé. Donc c'est vrai qu'il y a quelque chose un peu d'irréel, parce qu'en fait, l'ennemi, il est invisible. L'ennemi qu'on combat, il est invisible. Donc c'est vrai que c'est une grande première déjà. On n'a jamais vécu ça. Et c'est vrai que ça fait bizarre. Ça fait très bizarre. Effectivement, il y a eu beaucoup de blagues sur les papiers toilettes. Alors ça, moi j'ai été au magasin pour acheter le papier toilette, il y en avait plus. Il y a une blague qui a circulé comme quoi les gens ils congelaient du papier toilette tellement ils avaient peur d'en manquer. Donc...
Toilet paper. All right. Now, I wasn't even scared about not having any toilet paper because we've got a shower. So probably what I would have done is just finished doing my business and then taken a shower. But then in regards to toilet paper, we've got more than enough. And yeah. So we're fine. We're fine.
So, if you eliminate the virus in a particular zone, then you have to remain closed forever until the virus has expanded around the world and has been eliminated everywhere, including Madagascar. Until then, you have to remain closed. So this, in my view, is a terrible mistake. It's what is called a category mistake. They should have allowed the virus to come and go, like every influenza virus. And by the way, so far, this virus has killed many fewer people in Italy than influenza kills every year.
Poi sappiamo che oltretutto questo virus passerà in qualche modo e teniamo anche conto che sotto un punto di vista statistico il 99,2% dei deceduti, dei decessi, è dovuto a persone che avevano già delle patologie ed erano quindi immunodepresse. Quindi statisticamente questi sono i dati dell'Istituto Superiore di Sanità italiano. io personalmente non mi preoccupo di questo, spero che sia una situazione temporanea, e quindi per il momento stiamo reagendo in questo modo molto positivo. Il rischio è correlato all'effetto magnitudo, quindi cosa significa? Non voglio parlare in modo troppo complicato, però il virus infetta tutti, ma colpisce sistemi immunitari compromessi, quindi le persone deboli, le persone anziane, chi ha il cancro, chi ha la leucemia, eccetera. Quindi è fondamentale prendere un po' di luce solare, fare ginnastica a casa, assorbire la vitamina D tramite la luce solare. Io mi permetto, ce ne sono tanti consigli che posso dare, ad esempio non guardare troppa TV, non guardare troppo telegiornale, perché veramente il rischio è di deprimersi in un modo incredibile.
Паники никакой нету. То есть я, например, не замечал. Молодежь это вообще все, как говорится, по барабану. А вот взрослому населению, они, так сказать, все ходят, так сказать, относительно озабочены, потому что все прекрасно понимают, что сейчас идет только самое начало вот этой всей истерии. А к чему все это приведет через 2-3 месяца, неизвестно. То есть, а неизвестность всегда народ пугает. Во-первых, у многих кредиты есть в банках, у многих там ипотека. Что с этими инструментами будет, тоже никто ничего не знает. И это беспокойство, конечно, отражается на отдельных гражданах. Торговые войны-то давно идут, и это как бы обычное явление. И мы на это даже не обращаем никакого внимания, просто мы уже привыкли к торговым войнам. А горячих войн, конечно, не будет. А вот какая-нибудь там биологическая война, она тоже вот, возьмите, коронавирус, ни с того ни с сего вспыхнул. Более того, с 2003 года, когда появилась атипичная пневмония, она ведь тоже возникла в Китае. Я полагаю, что здесь какая-то идет попытка раскачать общество и направить его куда-то еще. Но не по стопам прогресса, а наоборот.
Ich will das natürlich nicht, aber wenn die Prognose stimmt, das wird Menschen komplett verändern. Wahrscheinlich jeder wird gegen jeden sein, auch wenn du zum Beispiel normale Fieber hast. Leute würden denken, du hast Corona, und die würden dich am besten würden die dich einfach wegschicken, aber die können dich einfach abknallen, nur weil du Corona hast. Und dann stehen Leute, die dann gegen sind und dafür. Und das ist einfach, das ist echt, ich will nicht in solche Zivilisationen leben, aber das könnte noch schlimmer werden. Aber ich bin der Meinung, dass es nicht so schlimm wird. Das ist Maximum, was passiert ist, wenn Wirtschaft runterfallen. Aber wenn das passiert, dann wird das komplette Welt verändern.
Whether this thing gets worse or it doesn't get worse, I think we're gonna come out from this definitely different. We just have to be. We're from a generation that's never really experienced this. So all of this is new. I mean, I open up my WhatsApp every day and there's videos of people lining up to go and buy toilet roll, or fighting over like bars of soap and things like that. So either way, we're going to be changed. It just depends how bad it gets. That will basically denote how much of a change or how much of a difference there's going to be in regards to society anyway. I think one of the things that's going to happen is that we're going to take things a lot more seriously in regards to maybe staying in touch with friends, and going out and just living life to the fullest. Maybe that's what I'm trying to get from this. I already have a list of things that I want to do the minute I'm able to go about and do what I want to do without having to worry about catching something or passing something on to somebody else.
Cerchiamo di renderci un po' più sani praticando un po' più di fitness, un po' più di yoga, meditazione. Io personalmente pratico la meditazione, la mindfulness, e posso dire che fa bene. Vi do l'esempio questa dritta che serve molto, che la racconto nei miei corsi. Molto spesso abbiamo dei pensieri negativi, è normale in questo periodo. Concentrarsi su questi pensieri negativi pensando di sostituirli con dei pensieri positivi non funziona. Quello che bisogna fare è utilizzare le nostre capacità corporee e ascoltare i nostri 5 sensi. già se ad esempio mi ascolto il tatto della mia mano o il mio respiro, automaticamente incomincio a mandar via questi pensieri negativi. Funziona.
Bien, les nouvelles technologies nous permettent de garder quand même ce lien social avec l'extérieur et avec les amis qui sont aussi confinés chez eux. Et puis, il y a quelque chose aussi qui est quand même très, qui donne un peu, enfin, qui motive, qui donne un peu de la force, c'est que tous les soirs, à 8h, tout le monde, en tout cas sur Paris, se met à la fenêtre pour applaudir les docteurs, les infirmières, les aides-soignants, tous ceux qui continuent de travailler et de soutenir l'économie, de façon à les encourager. Et du coup, on voit tous nos voisins qui applaudissent sur leur balcon ou à leur fenêtre. Et ça donne un sentiment d'appartenance et un sentiment de partager le confinement qui finalement motive à rester chez soi, comme tout le monde.
You know what I think? 6 months from now, this epidemic is going to go into psychology textbooks as a case of global insanity. We just got spooked, and a couple of billion people got locked down at home. And all because of this virus is a little more serious than the flu. But in general, it's good for people to be alone, because everyone around complains that it's never enough time. And now there is, just to sit there and think about the eternal. But no, when we're all on lockdown, locked up, people want to open up to the world.
Eigentlich, wie ich weiß, es ist nicht so schlimm, wenn du dich einfach so anfasst. Hauptsache, das kommt nicht in deinen Organismus, also durch deinen Mund oder durch deine Augen. Hauptsache, das nicht anzufassen, aber sonst kannst du dich überall abtasten, außer Mund und Augen.
I wonder if anyone understands what is really going on and what to do. Is anybody actually responsible for anything? Do we even have a government or any power left? Today, they're saying there's no alternative to quarantine, that we should stay away from each other. First, they closed the borders. Now they locked everyone in. What's next? They'll enter QR codes like in China? Or chip everybody? Are we going to become this obedient marked herd? Do I have to ask permission to travel every time? Of course, it's convenient to control those who obey the orders. Politicians, they don't even need to scare anyone. Everyone's already scared to death. Just remember the common good. Do whatever you want. I wouldn't be surprised if our democracy was also infected with the coronavirus. Anyway, is the law still even in force? Does the European Union still exist? I don't see it.
Je vous ai dit il y a quelques jours que nous étions engagés dans une guerre.
Stop the spread of the virus. Stay at home, protect the NHS, and save lives.
Good afternoon. This is the concierge. I have some important information for you. We have just been informed that from now on, you are obliged to observe a 14-day quarantine, a government order for all tourists coming from Europe. Our security service will monitor your room. We ask that you take this with understanding. You must stay in your room at all times. You can only leave your room in case of emergency. If you feel unwell, call reception. We'll get you a doctor. You can order food in your room. Room service works without changes. As a compliment, we will deliver you a fruit basket. I also want to inform you that a number of our hotels in Moscow unfortunately have to close temporarily. This facility stays open for the moment. We will keep you updated. Stay well.
Ist klar, aber du musst auch nachdenken, dass diese Situation ist nicht so witzig. Also wir haben fast alle Länder auf diesem Planeten schon krank wegen Coronavirus. Und du musst einfach nachdenken, okay, was kann ich dagegen tun? Und am besten, was du tun kannst, ist zu Hause bleiben und chillen und nicht rausgehen und mit Leuten treffen.
On n'en sait rien, on ne sait pas. Donc la seule chose qu'on sait, c'est que c'est apparu sur un marché à Wuhan en Chine, soi-disant par une personne qui avait mangé du cogolin. Après, si c'est comme le SRAS, c'est pareil. Je veux dire, il y a 10 ans, il y a eu le SRAS et on n'a pas su vraiment ce qu'il avait, comment il était né ce virus. Donc, moi, je sais pas trop. Par contre, ce qui est inquiétant aussi, c'est que j'espère qu'il paraît qu'il y a des recherches en cours, mais ce qui fait peur, en fait, c'est que ce virus, il est apparu en Chine, il s'est répandu dans le monde entier, parce que là aujourd'hui tout le monde est touché. Pour l'instant on parle pas de l'Afrique, mais il y a quand même beaucoup de pays qui sont touchés, les États-Unis, l'Iran, la majorité des pays européens.
The self-isolation isn't too bad, to be honest. Because it's one of those things where I'm not at a specific age where I need to just go out just for going out's sake. So I don't really drink, I don't really club. If I had to do this for another 6 months, I'm not sure how I would survive. But then in saying that, it's not a full lockdown, so we're still able to go to the shops if need be for provisions. I think the only problem, which we're yet to face, and we're going to be finding out from Monday tomorrow coming, is how we're going to be dealing with children. That's the main thing. It's about obviously trying to maintain work, because I'm able to work from home, but then keep my son also quite entertained and also maintain his education as well. So I mean, those are the main issues that we're going to face. So I think this week is going to be the real test for the UK, to be honest. So I am concerned, and I do keep up to date about what's happening elsewhere as well.
In every country, the virus brings the truth. What's happening in Washington is that, first of all, Washington is not a city of factories. There are no factories here, there are no farms, there are just offices. And what people do in these offices in Washington is like people do in offices in Moscow. Namely, that you don't really have to go to the office. Most people, they can just work from home. Many people work for the government and you don't know if they're working or not, whether they're there or not there. And so in a way, Washington feels it much less. Some hotels, but mainly bars and restaurants, because these people who are too busy to cook, and many of them don't know how to cook an egg, so they go to bars and restaurants. And now the restaurants can only open to sell food for takeaway. Food to take away, but you can't be there. And of course, a lot of people have lost their jobs.
Beh sì, non solo io, ovviamente un po' tutti siamo attaccati alla televisione, ai telegiornali, stiamo seguendo ciò che accade in tutta Europa e soprattutto la cosa interessante è vedere come ogni nazione sta reagendo. L'Italia, come sapete, ha reagito con una chiusura, chiudendo appunto un po' tutte le attività e prediligendo la possibilità di tutelare la popolazione. L'Inghilterra invece si è tenuta in una condizione molto più libera, diciamo, sotto il piano di vista economico, come anche l'Olanda. Praticamente stiamo vedendo che l'Olanda non sta reagendo rispetto a questa emergenza. Ognuno sta, secondo le proprie politiche, sta decidendo di fare in un modo personale, personalizzato. Ecco, io non sono in grado di dare una spiegazione, solo il futuro ci dirà chi potrebbe aver avuto ragione.
Все страны вынуждены применять вот эти меры ограничения передвижения граждан. Это как бы вынужденная мера для купирования самого заболевания. Но для того, чтобы люди, так сказать, не чувствовали себя одинокими, им, конечно, надо общаться через социальные сети. Но при этом, конечно, не надо распространять каких-то панических слухов. Вот типа моя жена вот прибежала, сказала, что там ей кто-то позвонил, что ей какой-то закон издан. Никто ничего не издает.
I mean, like I said, my mind isn't really wandering anywhere because I've only been self-isolation since Thursday. My day-to-day routine hasn't changed as of yet. So it's still the same thing where I'm waking up in the morning, getting dressed, having a shower, getting dressed, sorry. I don't get showered in clothes. Doing work, having lunch. So to me, I'm still dealing with it as a normal day. It's just that I'm in the house. And I'm still talking to my friends that I will talk to on the phone normally. I'm still watching my TV programs. I'm still training. So I mean, it might be hard for people who maybe live by themselves or have some form of, let's say, mental health issues. I mean, that's something else. That's a completely different story. But for me, as it stands right now, my mind's fine. It's clear. It's doing what it normally would do on a normal day-to-day basis.
Jan, when are you coming? I don't understand. What are you doing in Russia? You can't come back soon? You have so many acquaintances among diplomats. Have somebody put you on a plane. Jan, I can't do this anymore. I'm at the limit. Mark is under stress, crying all the time. And of course you spoiled him. Don't you understand what's going on here? People aren't outside. They threw a flyer in the mailbox, and it says that it's dangerous to buy food, and that the virus is everywhere, and on food too. What if their movers are sick? If you go, you know what the lines are like. Jan, I'm warning you. If you don't come...
I'm so tired of this. Every time it's the same thing. Jen, what's with the time? Jen, all my girlfriends get phone calls from the daughters every day. Jen, couldn't you have gotten a calmer job? It's impossible to tell her anything at all. It's her concern and her constant advice. And she doesn't understand that I don't need her advice. And her assessments of me are annoying. And what's really the point of repeating everything 5 times? I'm not deaf. Is it so hard to accept that I can make my own decisions? And the panic attacks? Yes, between quarantine and the situation, it is difficult. But I'm alive, I'm healthy, and I'm not a child. Yes, I'm far away. Yes, I'm stuck. But why scare your baby? Why tell her she's bound to get infected and die?
Und bei Menschen habe ich gesehen, Leute machen Panik. Das ist echt übertrieben. Die kaufen Sachen ein. Ihr Gehirn wird komplett verändert durch Nachrichten, durch diese Fake-Medien, die ganze Zeit Fake News reintun und dadurch noch mehr Panik erzogen und dadurch wird Menschen noch mehr Sachen abkaufen. Dadurch geht auch langsam Wirtschaft runter. Aber trotzdem, die kaufen Toilettenpapier, Essen und so weiter und die denken die ganze Zeit, es würde Apokalypse geben oder so. Ich glaube nicht. Also normale Medien, selbst die Regierung sagt Leute keine Panik. Trotzdem kaufen Leute Toilettenpapier, Tonnen davon. Das ist echt komisch und ich glaube, das kann man schon sehen, wie soziale Medien und auf unsere Gesellschaft auswirken. Das ist echt heftig.
Вы знаете, но я бы посоветовал бы людям больше бы общаться в интернете, потому что хотя бы это есть некая, так сказать, сопричастность с тем, что происходит в мире. Научное сообщество сейчас сосредоточено на проблеме борьбы с коронавирусом. С одной стороны, микробиологи говорят, что это известный вирус, а с другой стороны, у него есть ряд любопытных свойств, которые, так сказать, позволяют говорить о том, что это некая новая разновидность уже известного коронавируса. Сейчас есть масса лекарственных препаратов, которые сейчас усиленно тестируют на всех больных. Хотя советуют не самые лучшие препараты. с моей точки зрения.
Il y a des recherches qui sont en cours. Il va y avoir normalement peut-être un vaccin d'ici 1 an, et pour l'instant, il n'y a rien. Et on ne sait pas comment la pandémie va pouvoir être enrayée. Pour l'instant, c'est le confinement. On voit qu'en Chine, ça commence à baisser grâce au confinement. Mais après, ce qui va être très difficile, ça va être la sortie de la crise. La sortie de crise, comment est-ce qu'on sort de cet état de confinement, de pandémie, et quand est-ce qu'on sait que la pandémie, elle est plus, que le virus, il est plus actif. C'est ça aussi. Donc je sais pas.
Io ho 2 figli, siamo genitori di 2 figli di 10-11 anni, e quindi primo pensiero che abbiamo, credo, tutti i genitori in Italia sia gestire, capire come affrontare questa situazione, non tanto per noi, anche per noi, ma soprattutto per i nostri figli. Quindi io mi preoccupo per i miei figli. Non è così semplice, cerchiamo di mantenere il buon umore, ci sono dei gruppi ad esempio su chat, su WhatsApp, dove ci mandiamo sia dei dati clinici, statistici, per essere sempre un po' aggiornati al corrente, ma insomma ci raccontiamo anche un po' di barzellette, messaggi molto divertenti. Personalmente credo che, visto che lavoro nel settore ospedaliero, ho avuto questa fortuna, ma anche sfortuna, di continuare a dare assistenza al territorio. Quindi ho visto un po' tutto il processo, ho visto la città che lentamente si svuotava, la città di Torino, che sta nel nord Italia. Praticamente noi quindi abbiamo visto questa città semivuota, svuotata, un po' come se fosse in un film di Sergio Leone, non so se lo conoscete, in quei spaghetti film in cui praticamente c'è il deserto e c'è questa bella musica di Ennio Morricone.
Maybe Lenin should be here because there is a proletariat. It turns out we discovered that there is actually a proletariat of people who have nothing and who depend on their hourly wages in the food industry, in all these restaurants and bars and all the related stuff, and parking attendants and Uber drivers, and this whole proletariat is now without any money. So the government, the great Donald Trump has decided to send everyone a $1,000 check. Me also. I also will get the $1,000 check. But this is a real problem.
Ну, тут ненормативной лексики очень много. Я повторять не буду. Испанский биолог говорит, что вы даете футболисту 1 000 000 евро в месяц, а ученому-биологу 1800 евро. Теперь вы ищете лечение. Идите к Роналду или Месси, они вам найдут лекарство. Вот простой вопрос. Как общество относится к науке, так наука может выдать такой же результат. Общество занято развлечением. С середины 20 века, где-то с 60-х годов, общество свернуло, так сказать, с развития научных и производственных сил, и все усилия были направлены на удовлетворение потребностей, но никак не каких-то еще достижений. Значит, к чему я все это веду? Poca chimiques существует, бояться нечего.
Parce que on se rend bien compte que, parce qu'en plus on ne sait pas si c'est la dernière pandémie, parce que là il y a le coronavirus, mais qui nous dit que l'année prochaine il n'y aura pas un autre virus, donc je ne sais pas, il faut tout ça, il faut réfléchir, il faut nous aussi on va avoir il va falloir revoir notre modèle de santé, la façon dont on a géré les hôpitaux jusqu'à maintenant de manière très économique, alors qu'on se rend compte qu'aujourd'hui en France il manque des masques, alors que des masques, quand il y a eu le SRAS, on en avait des stocks et des stocks. Pourquoi est-ce qu'aujourd'hui il n'y a plus de stocks? Donc tout ça, il y a plein de défaillances qui ont été identifiées avec le coronavirus qu'il va falloir régler. Et donc ça sera à court terme. Et surtout, c'est que ça va complètement changer. Ça va faire changer, je sais pas, mais ça va faire réfléchir sur notre mode de vie, notre mode de consommation, les sociétés capitalistes et sur comment est-ce qu'on vit avec la nature et notre environnement. Ouais, ça va tout changer. Ça va en tout cas appeler à réfléchir. Ouais.
Bis jetzt hat noch keiner mich angelogen. Also es gibt natürlich Firmen, die jetzt sagen, ja, kauft unsere Masken, wird sicher. Ich finde komplett diese Maskenproblem. Leute denken, dass Masken Menschen helfen, aber ich glaube, dass diese Masken ist einfach eine Abzocke. Das hilft dir nicht so gern gegen Coronavirus. Alles, was du machen musst, ist natürlich Hygiene, das war's. Aber Masken anzuziehen, nein. Und ich sehe jetzt viele Werbungen, wo Leute verkaufen diese Masken für 5, 15 Euro. Und das ist echt eine Abzocke, finde ich. Und das geht überhaupt nicht.
I mean, obviously we've seen it on the news. We've had warnings on social media and things like that. I haven't met anybody as of yet who's tried to pull a fast one. Although we did receive like a little leaflet, like a little pamphlet thing through their letterbox the other day, saying how if we need any help, they'll be coming around, or we can give them our telephone number, something like that. But I didn't take any notice of it, to be honest. The way how I feel for myself, and obviously for safety of the family, if it's not an official thing, then I'm not going to take any form of notice of it. If I don't see it on the news, if you don't see it from like the local police or like the medical professions, then yeah, I'm not going to really pay any attention to it.
Also erstens, ich bin komplett gegen Menschen, die daraus Geld verdienen von diesem Problem. Ich finde, das ist ein Problem. Also nicht so groß für Länder, die gutes Medizin haben, aber zum Beispiel für Italien oder China, das ist schon ein großes Problem. Und Leute versuchen trotzdem Geld dadurch verdienen mit Fake-Sachen oder einfach normale Sachen, die weiter verkaufen für teuren Preis.
То есть получается, что вот сама вот эта информация о вирусе, сам вирус, он послужил, так сказать, обрушением всей экономики. Сейчас пока все страны держатся на тех запасах, которые у них есть. А что будет через 2-3 месяца, никто не прогнозирует. Вернее, боятся прогнозировать, потому что могут быть самые невероятные события произойти.
Ovvio che, come dicevamo prima, visto che ci sono molti esercizi commerciali chiusi, non si va più al cinema, non si va più al teatro, eccetera, questo può creare alla lunga una risposta negativa dell'organismo, quindi ansia, stress, depressione, e poi magari non lo sappiamo quello che potrebbe succedere fra qualche mese, potrebbe succedere delle cose ancora più gravi. Quindi ci aspettiamo anche che il nostro governo prenda delle posizioni in merito.
Look, Jen, if you're trapped in Moscow, maybe you can write a story about what's going on over there. We need something sensational, ironically. I don't know, maybe something like that. Authoritarian regimes are more effective in fighting the epidemic. How about a theme like that? What about the people? Do they obey by the rules, or are they spitting on orders like over here? Haven't the Russians come up with a cure yet? Like a Novichok? Anyway, anything works. It is what it is. People sit at home on the internet, they don't care about what they read. Well, it's not about objectivity. The epidemic will write it all off. No one understands what's really going on anyway. Maybe these are all pieces of one giant puzzle. Perhaps we'll never know what this all was. Let's just survive for now.
Ich habe gemerkt, dass ich nicht bei allen Leuten jetzt Hand gebe. Also bei meinen besten Freunden schon, weil ich bin sicher, dass die nicht erkrankt werden. Aber bei anderen Leuten und auch bei Lehrern machen wir das nicht mehr. Wir machen maximum Ellbogengruß, was jetzt viele Politiker noch machen, was eigentlich sicher ist. Also Handkontakte mache ich jetzt nicht mehr.
I mean, everybody stopped shaking hands now. That's number one. Number two, I mean, this may sound like a bit of a joke, but the age group I'm at and the culture I'm at, I'm always giving fist bumps or elbows anyway. So this is nothing to us. But obviously now it's a natural thing where you're not actually able to shake hands or anything for fear of like spreading the virus. But then in saying that, where there's less physical interaction in regards to people, what I have noticed is that people are making eye contact more. and maybe even talking a bit more as well. So I think that's a plus that's come from this thing.
People have completely stopped shaking hands. When there are very few people around, the streets are empty, and when you meet people, you stand 2 meters away.
Manchmal denke ich, von wo kommen die Viren? Ich denke so, ich gucke durch die Nachrichten und denke so, oh, wieder China. Also es gab schon so viele Fälle in China und ich denke so, ja, die sind komplett schuld. Aber meine Meinung ist, dass das liegt nicht. Also es gibt Leute, die denken, das sei Mythos mit diesem Coronavirus und das ist eigentlich eine Biowaffe oder das ist einfach irgendein wirtschaftlicher Plan, dass alles runtergeht und einige Länder davon Profit kriegen. Meine Meinung ist davon, dass es nicht so ist, weil ich finde das komplett dumm. Also es gibt viele Beweise von vielen Instituten, die daraus zeigen, dass es nicht so schlimm ist und dass es doch ein Virus ist. Aber trotzdem denken Leute, dass nein, das ist alles eine Lüge, das ist nicht wahr. Und die geben keine guten Argumente dazu. Das ist einfach, ich kann das auch nicht beschreiben, das ist echt komisch. Und meine Meinung ist, dass die Chinesen haben trotzdem Schuld, weil ihre Hygiene ist ziemlich schlimm. Aber das könnte passieren mit jedem Land. Also mit jedem Land könnte sowas passieren. Und, ja.
It's true that the southern Chinese people, they like to eat cats, and the northern Chinese people like to eat dogs. But nobody actually in China really normally like to eat bats. And the reason why there was bats sold in the Wuhan market is because there's a very popular influencer on the Weibo, on the Chinese YouTube, and this is an elegant woman, and she made a section on YouTube and so on, about how she traveled to Indonesia and had a dinner of bats. And she showed how wonderful it was to eat the wings and so on. This was very popular in China. So right away there was a demand for bat food. And the tricky thing is, kind of confusing, is that in Wuhan, there is a famous virology laboratory, a laboratory where they study viruses, including coronaviruses, and they keep them alive in bats. So it's not clear if the bats sold in the market in Wuhan were imported from the Pacific Islands or they were stolen from the laboratory. And it's possible that they were stolen from the laboratory. So the laboratory is not a military laboratory, it's an open scientific laboratory. And it has been visited by foreign scientists. And one of those scientists from Australia had written about a year ago that there are a lot of strange practices there which are not correct practices. Like laboratory people keeping the food in the same freezer where they keep the viruses. And this gentleman, believes that maybe some laboratory employees in Wuhan sold the bats in the market. So that is a possibility, but definitely it appears to have come from bats, and there is a laboratory in Wuhan, a very big one, important one, but not a military laboratory. Nobody developed this coronavirus as a military weapon or anything like that. It was just an accident.
Déjà, la pandémie, ça va être un marasme économique parce que pour l'instant, tout tourne au ralenti. Il y a beaucoup de gens qui sont, parce qu'il y a les fonctionnaires, bon, ils continuent à être payés par l'État, mais tous ceux qui ont des magasins, des entreprises, tout le monde est au chômage partiel. Donc, pour l'instant, le budget de l'État va pouvoir assumer, mais si ça dure trop longtemps, ça va être une catastrophe économique qui sera énorme, quoi, énorme. Et effectivement, je pense que ça va nous faire réfléchir à nos modes de consommation, à nos modes de vie et à la société et aussi à notre modèle économique. Parce que peut-être qu'il sera plus viable. Et là, de toute façon, tout le monde le dit, il y aura un avant et un après coronavirus, c'est sûr. Parce que ça va effectivement changer les mentalités. Alors, les changer en quoi? Est-ce que les gens, moi je ne sais pas comment on va pouvoir réagir une fois que tout ça sera fini. Est-ce qu'on aura plus envie de partir, d'avoir la liberté de circulation, d'aller partout? Ou est-ce qu'on aura réfléchi et on se dira finalement l'important c'est effectivement de pouvoir circuler, mais peut-être pas dans le monde entier, peut-être que circuler en France ou en Europe ça suffit peut-être. Je sais pas du tout comment ça va évoluer et quelles vont être les pensées des gens, mais après le coronavirus. Par contre, ce qui est sûr, c'est qu'il va y avoir du changement. Dans quel sens, j'en sais rien, mais il va y avoir forcément du changement.
Shit. Where do I go? Who do I call? There's nothing I can do, not a thing. Now I can't even get out of this goddamn room. Why isn't the office answering? Didn't the editorial office tell them I'm here and that I need help getting out? Everything's gone to shit. No one's returning calls. Maybe they think I'm sick. Are they afraid of getting infected on the phone? What's next? After all, if Russia is a week or two behind Europe, soon everything will be closed here. Will they really ask me to move out of here? How and where to? My God, my mom must be going crazy over there. How is she going to manage? My son has an appointment tomorrow, and who's going to take him to the doctor? And the editorial staff, why do they even give me this topic? What can I say about the coronavirus besides feeling like I don't have it? Do they think the world has stopped? That people have stopped dying of cancer or killing each other, or that wars have stopped? Do I have to invent all the facts? Do I have to double check the internet fakes? I have to do something. I can't just sit around here and meditate. It's easy for the doctor from Turin to talk while he's at home with his kids. What else did he advise? Less alcohol? To hell with that advice, where's the minibar?
Parce que la pandémie, en fait, elle se donne par les mains. C'est pour ça qu'il faut bien se laver les mains bien de partout et tout. Et c'est quand tu vas toucher quelque chose de l'extérieur. Mais moi, je suis absolument pas sortie. Ah ben moi, j'ai les mains très très propres.
Уважаемые граждане, в Москве введен режим повышенной готовности в связи с эпидемией коронавирусной инфекции. В течение всего времени следует находиться у себя дома. Без необходимости не покидайте свои дома. Выход из дома без цифрового пропуска запрещен. В случае его отсутствия на вас будет наложен штраф. Уважаемые граждане, сохраняйте спокойствие. Соблюдайте социальную дистанцию в 1,5 метра. Не покидайте дома без крайней необходимости. При обнаружении у себя признаков вирусной инфекции необходимо звонить.
Have you thought about death? What are you afraid of dying from? We all know that one day we'll all die, but deep inside, we are all in denial. We know it'll happen, but not just to us, not anytime soon. Suddenly now, we are facing it. Just 2 months ago, everyone had a regular life. We made dinner plans, travel plans, plans in general. Then suddenly, a nightmare. Rows of coffins in Italy, mobile morgues in New York, black body bags lining the streets of Ecuador. It's scary to go online. What's the death toll in London now? More than 4,000? In Moscow? I'm constantly hearing ambulance sirens. For now, the death toll here is in the hundreds. for now. And there's no solution. What was it that Sergey said? Infections aren't scary as long as there are chemists. Will we come up with a vaccine before the virus wipes us all out? Who will they even test it on? And what if it can't be found at all? Then what? Maybe it's best just to accept. I'm not even sure humanity has a future. The worst part is that it's all our fault, regardless of whether or not this pandemic was random or accidental. I mean, it's irrelevant at this point. More people will die. Much more will lose jobs. God, and what about my mom? What happens if she gets it? She has so many underlying conditions. And what will happen to Mark? What will happen to me?
Stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives.
Also manchmal habe ich nachgedacht, wie würde ich sterben? Also natürlich das Schlimmste wäre von irgendeiner Krankheit. Und die Krankheit, von denen ich Angst habe, also ich kann jetzt nicht keine Namen sagen, weil ich bin jetzt kein Doktor oder so, aber die Krankheit, die am schmerzvollen ist. Also es gibt Krankheiten, die dir richtig viel Schmerzen geben und von sowas habe ich echt Angst zu sterben.
Как правило, в одиночестве всегда приходят какие-то грустные мысли, что жизнь несовершенна, ну и прочее, прочее. Я всегда думал, что любой здравомыслящий человек может умереть только от старости. Поэтому нужно заниматься изобретением лекарств, которые бы эту границу постоянно отодвигал.
Listen, I read a textbook of diseases, and I discovered that I already have all of them. I looked at the symptoms, I recognized the symptoms, I have them all, except one disease. It's called washerwoman's knee. It's called the washerwoman's knee is where you have a kind of arthritis of the knee. And this disease I don't have. So this is pretty worrisome. All the others I already have. I mean, I was coughing, sneezing, and I can't sleep at night, all kinds of stuff. But none of it stops you from swimming underwater.
Cancer. That's the main. That one scares the life out of me. Cancer. Cancer doesn't discriminate. The thing about this coronavirus, which kind of helps, is that number one, it's a virus which can be passed from one person to another. And then obviously there's already an algorithm that's been put out there that the less interaction between people, the less virus can be spread to people. So that's fine. So give or take, after X amount of time, plus when a vaccine has been made, we can control this, and people won't be able to be affected. In my dealings with something like cancer, that doesn't discriminate. It's not something that's airborne or something that's passed by a touch. It's just something which is in some people, and you can catch it via various means. So, and I've seen it happen to people firsthand. So I'm more scared about that type of virus or that type of disease as opposed to a virus which is spread between people when all you need to do is self-isolate. So as long as you stick to those rules, then I don't think this coronavirus is going to be around for that long. I'm more scared of things that are built inside the body and it takes its toll when you try to fight it.
Je pense que tout le monde a peur du cancer. Ça, c'est sûr que le cancer, tout le monde en a peur. Après, le coronavirus, bon, ben, les symptômes, c'est déjà le coronavirus, quand même, il faut. Enfin, ils disent à la télé, je ne sais pas si c'est vrai, que ça touche surtout des gens qui ont d'autres pathologies. Pas que le coronavirus, il y a d'autres pathologies. Si tu as une insuffisance cardiaque, si tu as du diabète, si tu as de la tension artérielle, tout ça, si tu es gros, si tu es obèse, tout ça, c'est des facteurs qui sont, qui aggravent les conséquences du coronavirus, parce qu'il y a quand même une majorité de gens qui vont avoir le coronavirus et qui ne vont pas déclarer qui ne vont pas ou pour lesquels ça va pas s'aggraver. En fait, ça va être juste de la toux. Ça commence par de la toux sèche, ensuite de la fièvre. Et puis, beaucoup alors c'est de la toux sèche, de la fièvre, et certains ont du mal à respirer. Mais ça, c'est pas obligatoire. Et donc, pour le soigner, il faut surtout rester couché et surtout ne toucher personne. Et quand en fait on est infecté, on est susceptible de donner le coronavirus à d'autres. Donc, il faut porter un masque si on en a un. Voilà. Et puis, effectivement, bien se laver les mains et ne pas sortir. Mais donc ça touche quand même surtout les personnes fragiles et jusqu'à maintenant les personnes fragiles et les personnes qui ont d'autres pathologies. Donc pour l'instant, alors ça touche quand même des jeunes, mais on ne sait pas quels sont si c'était des jeunes qui avaient d'autres pathologies ou non. A priori oui, mais on n'en est pas certain parce qu'on n'a pas non plus une information très développée sur les cas. Voilà.
Il governo ci ha imposto delle regole e queste regole sono quelle di stare a casa. Si è creato uno slogan in Italia che è abbastanza famoso, che credo ormai che avrete sentito in tutto il mondo. Hashtag io resto a casa, I stay at home. L'imperativo quindi è proteggere noi e gli altri, però insomma in questo momento la nostra vita sembra in qualche modo un po' sospesa in un limbo.
Hi Mummy, Nana said you are in Moscow. I saw pictures online. Looks awesome, very pretty city. Will you bring me back a game? Did they play football there? I wanted that game, remember when we were at the cafe? These toy players, and you pull on a handle and play football. It was quite big, but we can get one that folds away. I have seen it online. You play and then fold the table. Mummy, when will we be back? We miss you. Nanny keeps whipping my hands every 5 minutes. And she won't let me go outside.
Why did I agree to this trip? Mark had a meltdown begging me not to go, and he's usually calm. I can't bear the thought of him out there without me. He must be so scared. I imagine he checks every bus that passes by to see if I'm on it. I remember being so afraid as a kid, afraid that my mom would die, that she'd never return because something has happened to her. What would I even do without her? She used to go on expeditions all the time. We'd see her off to the station, and I would stand there, among the chaos and the sea of luggages, and just cry. She would calm me down by telling me stories about where people were going and all the places that they would see, and that they always return home. I wonder what's there now. Probably a desert. Everyone is at home. No one is out. What about the homeless? And all the homeless that live near train stations? Where are they? They have nowhere to go. How are they managing? They have no money, no food, and it's still cold out. Stephanie from Tooting Broadway, how are you? I hope you're well and managing through the madness.
Also in Nachrichten habe ich gehört, Nachrichten wird es gesagt, dass wir alle zu Hause sitzen mussten, weil es eine Maßnahme ist von Quarantäne. Aber eigentlich, was ist mit den Leuten, die kein Haus haben, die draußen wohnen, die keine Arbeit haben? Also ich glaube, dass die würden auch gesichert. Also wir haben diese Flüchtlingslager für die Flüchtlinge und wahrscheinlich wird das genauso was sein für die Leute, die kein Haus haben. Wir haben auch soziale Hilfen für solche Leute und ich glaube, das wird auch geregelt. Aber das ist echt traurig, dass die Leute, die kein Haus haben, jetzt auch irgendwo hinschicken mussten, nur weil solche Maßnahmen geben mussten. Ja.
Guarda, questo è un bel problema, sì. Sì, è un problema reale perché in realtà spetta alle istituzioni gestire questo problema, che io personalmente non sono assolutamente in grado di gestire. I senza tetto non hanno in questo momento il problema del clima, perché in Italia c'è un bel clima, però evidentemente davanti al virus c'è un problema evidente, ma non solo, stiamo sentendo che la polizia sta facendo delle sanzioni ai senza tetto perché dovrebbero stare a casa ma loro non hanno a casa, quindi anche questo è un paradosso. Secondo me dovremmo veramente stare vicino a queste persone, ma con qualche soluzione. Non sono assolutamente in grado di rispondere, ma sicuramente non dobbiamo dimenticare le persone più deboli, più fragili di noi.
Well, the homeless people, they're in the month of March here. It's already getting warmer. And so the homeless people who don't like to be inside, these are not people who have no houses, you understand? The people who are called in English homeless, they are not people who actually don't have houses. It is people who don't want to live in houses. They refuse to be in the shelters. The cities build shelters, but they don't want to be in the shelters. They want to sleep outside. And they will continue to sleep outside. The problem is not them, because they, of course, are mental cases. The problems are psychological, not the lack of a house. Because when you give them a house, they don't sleep there. The problem we have is not them. The problem we have is the normal proletariat. The normal proletariat, which depends on hourly wages, work, and especially restaurants, bars, cafes, where they live from tips.
Les sans-abri, les associations caritatives ont loué des chambres d'hôtel pour que les personnes qui dormaient dans la rue puissent rester dans leur chambre d'hôtel.
Бездомным здесь крайне тяжело, потому что, во-первых, это люди, у которых нет потребности ни в общении, ни в доме. То есть здесь очень важна, помимо государственной политики в отношении бездомных, еще очень важна работа психиатров. Скорее всего, требуется психиатрическая помощь. Совершенно другие механизмы начинают работать. Я говорю, там перестраивается психика человека, и он уже начинает приспосабливаться к той среде, в которой он постоянно находится. Там выживают наиболее сильные.
Hey Jen, so here's the thing. Not even sure where to start. Bad news, I'm afraid. Basically, the paper won't extend your contract. You know what it's like. Advertisers are pulling out. No one is reading newspapers now. The streets are empty. Weekly losses are growing. We're very close to shutting down. Shareholders are in panic. All costs are being slashed. First, they've cut all the unnecessary spending. Then they decided to get rid of the freelancers. Now it's the contractors' turn. Jen, I'm so sorry. I really am. Let's touch base when this is all over. We'll figure something out. You're an amazing journalist, but here's what it is.
Somewhere deep inside, I knew it would come to this. Bad news always comes in threes. I don't even have it in me anymore to be upset. Who even needs money if we're all gonna die anyway? You can't take your wallet to the other side. And it's not like we can even buy a spot in A&E. The hospitals are packed. People are dying at home. Even the doctors have had enough. I just read about doctors going on autopilot, working like robots, dogs, no room for compassion. The worst part is that doctors themselves are likely to catch it and pass it on to others. Martin isn't calling back. It must be hell at his hospital. Why did I even call him? I can manage on my own. He wouldn't risk it anyway. God, I'm so tired.
Ich finde, dass dieses Problem ist ein Problem von allen Menschen auf diesem Planet, auf allen Regierungen, weil wenn wir das nicht zusammennehmen als ein großes Problem, dann wird das noch schlimmer geben. Weil einige Länder sagen so, nee, wir sagen so, nee, das ist nicht so schlimm. Bei anderen schon, und ich glaube, wir müssen ein gemeinsames Ziel finden, dass bei allen Ländern das gleiche ist, dass dieses Problem genauso schlimm ist und dass wir alle zusammen etwas dagegen tun.
I'm not really self-isolating because I cohabit in this house with this woman who claims to be my wife, and the two of us, we go for hikes. We go hiking in nature, and what we have lost, which is a terrible loss, is our grandson, the world famous Nathan, the greatest intellectual who ever lived, etc. We can't be in touch with him because he is living a normal life of an 8-year-old. He, of course, plays with his friends. He lives in an apartment house, so we cannot hug him and kiss him. We can only see him at a distance. So that's our loss.
À 20h, quand tout le monde est à sa fenêtre et que tout le monde applaudit, donc ça c'est valable pour tous nos voisins là, mais c'est aussi valable dans tout Paris. Donc ça c'est vrai que ça donne le sentiment d'appartenance et de lien. Par contre, ce qui n'est là où on voit que quand même il y a beaucoup d'individualisme, c'est que les gens continuent malgré tout de ne pas respecter les règles de confinement. Il y en a certains qui ne respectent pas les règles de confinement. C'est pour ça que les règles ont été assorties d'une pénalité financière, parce que il y avait quand même beaucoup de personnes, lorsque le président a demandé de rester chez soi, qui continuaient de sortir comme avant, d'aller dans les parcs, d'aller faire le footing, de marcher, de se coller les uns aux autres. Et ça, en fait, ça c'est pas, c'est de l'égoïsme et de l'individualisme, puisque ça permet pas. Les gens qui font ça ne pensent pas aux autres, ne pensent pas à ces médecins qui vont devoir accueillir de plus de patients. Et le fait que la pandémie, de faire ça, en fait, ça permet à la pandémie de se répandre. Donc, il y a des gens qui n'étaient pas très conscients ni de leur appartenance collective et qui voulaient garder, enfin, qui étaient très individualistes, très individualistes.
Well, I could definitely joke about the virus, but I can't joke about the tragic failure of intellect, the mental failure of dealing with this virus in this way, because that's not funny. They refusal to accept. I mean, in Italy, a number like 80% of the people who have died in Italy were over the age of 80, and they were cancer patients.
Jen, hey, how are you? Sorry, I couldn't call you earlier. I had a shift and could get out. I leave my phone in the safe zone, and we are basically working in hazmat suits. Drink of water and toilet breaks are an issue now. I don't leave unless I have to. Don't want to waste half an hour undressing and suiting back up again. There's an ongoing stream of patients. Jen, I barely leave work. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to pick up Mark. There was another doctor that got infected, so all his shifts are on me. I'm good for now, but I think it's only a matter of time before I get it myself. Just hope me and my team don't get it at once. To be honest, I wouldn't risk going to your mom's even if I could. With all her health issues, she shouldn't see anyone. Please keep me posted about you and about Mark. I check my phone once a day. Let's just agree to deal with each problem as it comes. If something major happens, I'll figure something out. For now, I assume all is good. I mean, I get that your mom is freaking out, that's understandable, but overall, things are under control. Okay, don't stress. Sorry, must run now.
Нет, я планирую пока жить до 100 лет. Вот у меня такой план. А если оборудование, например, по переливанию крови будет доступно для обычных, так сказать, людей, то можно спокойно до 150 прожить. Можно отодвинуть эту границу где-то до 95, до 100 лет. Я думаю, лет через 10 можно будет до 120, 150. Et надо этим заниматься.
Tous ceux qui avaient un abonnement sportif, en fait, le Club Med, enfin les clubs de gym, ont fait des cours de gym par internet, et donc il y a des programmes qui sont faits sur internet et qui gardent en fait le planning des cours, comme si on avait des cours, comme si on pouvait aller en cours, sauf qu'on reste chez soi et on regarde le cours sur internet et on peut le faire de chez soi. Donc ça, une grande majorité des clubs sportifs ont fait ça. Et puis il y a beaucoup de choses aussi qui ont été faites par des personnes individuelles pour avoir des cours de yoga, des cours de pilates. Donc en fait les gens peuvent faire des cours, et d'ailleurs maintenant il y a une blague aussi qui circule sur internet comme quoi c'est en Italie je crois la blague, et c'est un Italien, donc c'est un copain qui lui demande est-ce que demain on peut prendre l'apéro par FaceTime demain soir et tout, et en fait l'Italien il sort son agenda et puis il lui dit alors demain matin j'ai cours de gym, ensuite j'ai cours de ci, j'ai cours de ça, ensuite j'ai le yoga, ensuite je sais pas si je vais être libre pour prendre l'apéro. Donc en fait les gens s'organisent et puis se font des plannings comme si ils planifient, ils gardent une discipline de leur temps, quoi. Tu vois, ils continuent donc de travailler, mais aussi d'avoir des plages pour le sport, d'avoir des plages pour les dîners, d'avoir des plages pour se détendre, et puis voilà. Mais il faut continuer à garder un rythme, le rythme du temps. Ouais.
Я слышал, что многие говорят про алкоголь, что якобы им можно проводить дезинфекцию организма. Вы алкоголем можете, концентрированным алкоголем, имеется в виду, можете обезопасить только свои руки, то есть протереть поверхность. А при приеме внутрь все моментально, так сказать, теряется. То есть на вирусы это никак не отражается.
I can tell you two stories in regards to how serious I am taking this when I'm not taking it seriously, if you get what I mean. So the first one is that from the minute I heard that this virus is called the coronavirus, there's a group called the Knack. They're from like the 70s, and they've got a song called My Sharona. So all I did was just change the words, the chorus from My Sharona to My Corona, and that's me. I've been laughing about that for about 2 weeks straight. And then I was talking to my brother earlier on WhatsApp. We did like a little video call, and I was just pretending that I was going crazy. And then on his end, he was pretending he was going crazy, and we were just shouting and just ended up just laughing for like 5 minutes. As serious as this is, I think that if you take it too seriously, it's just going to drive you crazy. And you know, and nothing is more healthy than laughter and feeling happy. So yeah, that's how I'm dealing with it.
Ben la dernière fois que j'ai ri, c'était à cause d'une blague sur le portable, parce que il y a plein de blagues qui circulent en fait sur internet, enfin que les amis s'envoient. Alors il y a une blague qui m'a fait beaucoup rire. En fait, c'est un Italien, il est tout seul chez lui et puis il veut prendre l'apéro avec ses amis. Enfin, il est tout seul, mais puis il n'a pas de téléphone ni rien, mais il veut prendre l'apéro. Donc en fait, il se sert un verre de vin et puis il va dans sa salle de bain où il y a plein de miroirs et puis il trinque avec son reflet dans toutes les glaces. Comme ça, il a l'impression d'être entre amis, sauf qu'il est tout seul et puis qu'il boit son apéro, quoi. Donc ça a été drôle. Et puis oui, il y a plein de blagues qui circulent, qu'on nous envoie que les amis s'envoient sur WhatsApp ou sur notre boîte mail. Voilà. Il y a des choses qui sont rigolotes, il y en a d'autres qui sont un peu plus pathétiques.
Also ich denke nicht, dass wir alle vom Coronavirus sterben, weil erstens, wir haben schlimmere Viren wie Ebola und so weiter, weil diese Dinge töten dich automatisch. Und natürlich würden wir das überleben. meisten Leute, die über 80 sind, vielleicht nicht, aber mit unserer Medizin hoffe ich, ja. Ich hoffe, dass Unis und so weiter versuchen jetzt irgendeine Medizin zu entwickeln, dass es dagegen hilft, aber ich bin sicher, dass keine Panik, wir werden nicht alle aussterben davon.
I think I'm going nuts. All the days are stuck together now. What day is it? Friday? Wait, no. Wednesday. What month is it? Are we still in April? And why am I so tired? I spend most of my time in bed. Yet, I'm exhausted. I don't even have the energy to answer phone calls. Not that there's any point anyway. My son is upset. I can't make him feel any better. My job, well, I no longer have one. And I'm sure it's not about the money. I must have pissed someone off with my last piece. Why would they push me to write something if they didn't need it? First, they asked me to tone it down. Then suddenly, they don't need it for now. I've never pictured myself here. I have so much free time. I should do something. Go through my archives, finish up the 3 articles I've left completely hanging, and work on my back. Oh, and Mark asked me to finish a story for him. I wonder if he does his homework. I completely forgot about that. I must do something. I don't even know where to start. There's got to be a way out. This coronavirus, it's like biological warfare. Those who survive will come out emotionally crippled. Okay, not everyone will die. People do recover, however slowly that might be. And yes, many will still die, but most won't. And hopefully we'll be among them. After all, kids seem to be unaffected. Maybe somehow, and thanks to them, we will all beat this.
Okay, listen. Once this thing is all finished, the main thing we're gonna do is we're gonna meet up face to face. You're gonna get a handshake, you're gonna get a hug, and you're gonna get a kiss on the cheek, and that's it. I think that's one of the things that people are gonna be missing. So those are my words of support to anybody that's out there. Is just being able to see somebody face to face and just to touch and to just have that aura, the interaction of aura between people. That's what I can't wait to do. I can't wait to feel that.
Hey Jen, how's it going? So hard to get a hold of you these days. Have you found romance across the hallway? I've been doing some volunteering, sewing scrubs, doing store runs for local grannies. I swear I'm doing like 3 miles per day between the shops and the doorstops. Plus I got a treadmill. If I keep losing weight at this rate, Rich is going to leave me. I stopped by your house. I had a nice chat with your mom across the street. She had an apple pie waiting for me on a door handle. Overall, they're fine. I got some clay for Mark. Oh, by the way, you may have to redecorate when this is all over. He went a little bit Banksy on the walls. I had a peek through the window. Not bad, actually. Dude, as soon as this is all over, we are going out. I want everything. I want to sit in some beer garden drinking pins for 5 hours and not worrying about some guy coughing next to me. I went to eat at Borough Market and Zuma and everything in between. God, I hope there will be street parties. I think I might actually start hugging strangers. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Depends on how long this goes on. Anyway, keep your head up and let us know when you get sprung from Russia. And remember, it could be worse. You could be stuck in Birmingham.
Life is so unpredictable. Who could have imagined that the world would one day just stop? It's like we all just paused, but for weeks rather than seconds. And it's amazing how fast this pause became unbearable. We've all suddenly started dreaming the same dream, dreaming that this virus would just die out. Well, not normal, Rich is right. It will never be normal again, but rather a new normal, a more meaningful one, where we learn to appreciate each other, being around each other, and unafraid to show this appreciation. It's been a month since I've seen a plane, either in the skies or on the ground. I kind of miss them. Who would have thought that I would get over my fear of flying by being locked in a hotel room? I think I'll run to the airport the moment the skies are open again. It's funny how simple my dreams have become. Simple and unachievable. Well, unachievable for now.
And so I can confirm today that for the first time...
It's really a very promising situation. D'esprit de solidarité.
I want to thank those of you who are staying at home.
Non è che mi mancano gli aerei, mi mancano i milioni di turisti che vengono in Italia, quelli sì che mi mancano, non solo per una questione di amicizia o che so, ma anche per una questione economica e sociale. Il fatto di non avere milioni e milioni di persone che vengono nel paese più bello del mondo, e questo sì che è un po' un peccato.
Pas trop, non. Puis en plus, de toute façon, comme je les voyais pas, ça me manque absolument pas. Les voitures dans la rue non plus, ça me manque pas, parce que du coup, il n'y a plus de voitures non plus. Je pense que la pandémie, elle va être très très bénéfique pour l'environnement, hein, pour l'air qu'on respire et pour la nature, quoi, parce que il y aura moins de pollution pendant cette période. D'ailleurs, ça a été montré en Chine. Il y a eu une étude où on voit en fait la carte de la Chine avec les zones où il y avait de la pollution, et en fait avec le confinement, toutes ces zones ont été, on voyait que les zones qui étaient en rouge pour la pollution, ça disparaissait, et que donc pour la nature, pour l'environnement, pour l'air qu'on respire, c'est la pandémie, enfin le confinement, ça a du bon. Voilà.
No, I don't miss them, to be honest, because unless I'm on one, I don't really care or like pay that much attention. I think you know what would be more scary, or what's more scary than not seeing planes in the sky and not seeing birds? If you don't see birds in the sky, then you know it's a real issue. So yeah, so these man-made things like planes, not seeing them, that just means that, there's just something that's just happened, and but it's something that we're in control of. When you don't see nature like doing its natural thing, like moving from A to B, or like flying south for the winter, then there's an issue. So not seeing planes in the sky doesn't bother me at all. Think about it. When you don't see birds, something bad is happening.
Also in Zeiten von Quarantänen denke ich über die alten guten Zeiten, wo wir uns alle getroffen können. Jetzt ist es nicht mehr so, also persönlich meine ich. Und ich will natürlich, dass es irgendwann weggeht und dass wir jetzt normal treffen können. Aber für die Leute, die jetzt zu Hause sitzen, sage ich nur, bleibt zu Hause. Ihr habt Möglichkeiten, trotzdem euer Leben weiterzumachen. Und seid einfach happy. Also einfach immer lustig sein, immer positiv sein und darüber immer positiv nachdenken. Und Hauptsache keine Panik.
Для того, чтобы быть всегда в форме. Раз, два. Раз, два. Раз, два. Раз, два. Будь в форме. Это называется. Я в форме.
There are still airplanes flying. In fact, it may be you can still fly from here to San Francisco, and you can still fly around. And what you cannot, they stopped flights from Europe, of course, but there's still flights to other places. And I certainly, but I have at this moment, all the reasons I normally travel for. I go to conferences and activities like that, they have all been stopped. I was supposed to go to Baku very soon. All this organized stuff has stopped. But as I say, as soon as the travel restarts, I'm going to go not to a conference, but to visit my friends in the Pacific Ocean.
Hi, Jen. Haven't heard from you. I hope you're not mad at me. You know I love you. It just is chaos. I'm so worried about you. All's well here. Mark is making presents for you, painted the pictures on the wall. I don't interfere. We all need to release our stress somehow. Even started reading. Your friend popped in the other day. She needs to stop with her diets. That'll be the end of her. She looks like a broomstick. Oh, by the way, you had a call from a publishing house. Something about a manuscript. I didn't really understand, but they want to discuss the book with you. He said they're interested, especially as it's so relevant to now, with all this pandemic madness going on. No idea what this is all about. I'm sure you'll tell me all about it when you're back. I told him I'll pass on the message. Give him a call. I've sent you his contact details. Sorry for meddling, but darling, I'm so proud of you. You're so smart. Come back soon, will you?
Va bene, dunque, sogno e mi auguro di cuore di poter di mettere a frutto quello che stiamo vivendo in Italia e renderci conto di quanto sia importante assaporare questa libertà che in qualche modo ci è stata privata. Quindi sogno la possibilità di tornare ad assaporare tutta la bellezza del nostro paese, delle nostre piccole cose, della nostra quotidianità. Sogno anche la possibilità di un ritorno alle origini, se volessimo essere così molto romantici, sognare un nuovo rinascimento in cui avremo la possibilità di tornare a essere così fantasiosi come ci contraddistinguiamo in qualche modo un po' in tutto il mondo, ma anche con tutto l'uso sacrosanto che ci sta della tecnologia, ed è grazie alla tecnologia oggi che siamo così connessi con voi, con il mondo. E quindi vorrei essere un po' visionario, mi piacerebbe tornare a un rinascimento tecnologico.
The self-isolation thing, I don't think it's a bad thing. The way I see it's like this, they said that the virus is spread in a particular way. And this is how all viruses are spread anyway. I think right now, we're the type of society that we are, we're so used, we've got so many different options of where you can go and who you can see within X amount of time as compared to like years ago. And I think that's the reason why it's hitting people more. But then if anything, I think this gives you a time to, you know, spend more time with family, spend more time on yourself.
Also am Anfang war das so, dass nicht so viele haben mitbekommen über Coronavirus und danach fang es an, dass in Instagram und andere soziale Medien gab es Memes dazu mit Corona und Leute haben mehr davon rausbekommen. Danach in ein paar Tagen hat unsere ganze Klasse, unsere ganze Schule dann darüber Witze gemacht. Und wenn jemand hustet, dann sagen die, du hast Coronavirus oder jetzt Corona-Time oder so weiter. Und am Anfang hat das Spaß gemacht, danach war das ziemlich langweilig, dass die jeden Tag das gesagt haben. Aber später, durch soziale Medien, wo die schon Witze rausgebracht haben, haben die auch wichtige Informationen rausgebracht, die Leute auch weiter gelesen haben und trotzdem weitergegeben. Also die Freunde, die jetzt sagen, Die haben jetzt Witze über Corona gemacht, haben dann später gesagt, okay Leute, wir mussten unsere Hände waschen, wir mussten auf unsere Hygiene aufpassen und trotzdem haben wir Witze gemacht. Also durch Witze kannst du auch wichtige Informationen weitergeben. Wie ich schon gesagt habe, wichtig ist, dass das jetzt Witze sind, die Spaß haben, die jetzt echt witzig sind. Weil wenn die nicht witzig sind, dann wo ist das Ziel des Witzes? Also meine Meinung ist dazu, dass Witze können überall sein, egal wie schlimm die Situation ist. Hauptsache keiner ist davon schlimm betroffen, also keiner sagt, nee, das macht mir keinen Spaß.
In a place like Italy, it showed the chaos because Italy has more dead than anybody else for two reasons. First, they live longer than anybody else, and many of the dead are cancer patients, but the other is the complete disorganization of the country. It showed that reality too. And in Iran, the truth of the virus was that early on, they wanted to close the famous well of Jamkaran in Qum, which is like a machine for diffusing virus, because they come from all the villages all around Iran. Iran is a big country, and they load up on buses, and every day almost there's a bus from every large village that goes to the Jamkaran well. They travel sometimes a day, a night, 2 days, and they go to the well because that's the well where the 12th Imam will come out and come to the earth, the 12th Imam, and save the world. So they go to the well and ask the Imam, please come out, please come out. And when they said, stop it, at the beginning, the priests there, these imams, said, oh, no, this well, nobody can be ill in this well. Actually, it's like Federal Express. Everybody goes there, and then everybody goes out all over the place. And that's why in the virus of truth, in Iran, exposed fanaticism, blind, stupid fanaticism. And so in America, it exposes the fact that there is a big gap between the proletariat and the rest of the population.
Oggi con il mio fratello ci siamo inviati dei messaggi molto divertenti. No, ma non ve li dico, però il motivo per cui però sono messaggi che fanno molto ridere e che insomma tra persone che c'è molta confidenza si possono scambiare certi messaggi.
Je rêve de partir en vacances. Parce que ça fait très longtemps qu'on n'est pas parti en vacances avec Eric et donc on envisageait, tu vois, au mois d'avril on devait partir à Cracovie, en mai on devait partir à la mer, tout ça c'est annulé, donc ouais, moi je rêve de voir la mer et le sable. Déjà à deux c'est mieux, c'est mieux que tout seul. Et puis, il faut continuer à vivre normalement, sauf qu'on ne sort pas, quoi. Voilà, continuer à se faire des bons petits plats, à boire un bon petit vin, et puis continuer à appeler ses amis, à essayer d'avoir une vie normale tout en sortant pas, quoi. Voilà. Et surtout garder le contact avec ses parents, sa famille, ses amis, ça c'est très important. Ouais. Et puis penser aussi à l'après, parce que quand tout ça sera fini, alors là ça va être la grosse fête. Je pense que tout le monde sera très très content de se retrouver et de faire la fête parce qu'on aura conscience qu'on a passé un cap difficile. La fête avec mes amis.
Whether this thing gets worse or it doesn't get worse, I think we're going to come out from this definitely different. We just have to be like it. We're from a generation that's never really experienced this. So all of this is new. I mean, I open up my WhatsApp every day, and there's videos of people lining up to go and buy toilet roll, or fighting over like bars of soap and things like that. So either way, we're going to be changed. It just depends how bad it gets. That will basically denote how much of a change or how much of a difference there's going to be in regards to society anyway. I think one of the things that's going to happen is that we're going to take things a lot more seriously in regards to maybe staying in touch with friends, and going out and just living life to the fullest. Maybe that's what I'm trying to get from this. I already have a list of things that I want to do the minute I'm able to go about and do what I want to do without having to worry about catching something or passing something on to somebody else.
The first thing I will do is that I'm going to fly from Washington to San Francisco, from San Francisco to Tahiti in French Polynesia, and from Tahiti to the atoll of Fakarava, which is an atoll in Polynesia, not like Bora Bora, where they tourists and so on. It's actually the same as it was when Gauguin was there. And then go to a particular little island where there is one family living, and spend the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks underwater, swimming around, looking at the coral. This place is the best place in the world to be underwater and seeing every single fish that lives in the Pacific and corals and everything else. It's a paradise.
See, I'm a very, very simple person. So the main thing I want to do, I want to take up bouldering. So I don't know if it's like indoor rock climbing. And it's been on my list for ages. And I've done it a little bit before, years ago. And I've kept on putting it off. And obviously now that I'm not able to go and do what I want to do, like get some fresh air or just meet new people and learn new skills, that's definitely one of the new things I'm going to do. I also want to go and get some new tattoos. Like I've got friends that work in the industry that are now not able to work, like as I mentioned earlier on. So I think it'd be a nice way to basically once again meet up with friends, and by me purchasing a tattoo, I'm putting back into their business, and by me getting a tattoo, I'm then adding to a hobby that I have as well. So everything that I want to do after this virus has hopefully been got rid of is just go back to normal, but just do everything that little bit more and just appreciate everything more as well.
От психологии человека очень зависит, заболеет он или нет. И если вы будете настроены на оптимистической волне, то ваша иммунная система моментально откликнется, и вам не страшны никакие вирусы.
This is Alexander Felstein from the British Embassy in Moscow. Apologies for the delayed response, but rest assured we are aware of your situation. We are currently in talks with the Russian government about arranging a charter plane for UK citizens wishing to return home. This will take a bit of time. While we do have your details, we request that you provide us with a confirmation stating that you do in fact wish to go back to UK. Could you please give me a call at your earliest convenience so we can discuss this? In the meantime, please remain at the hotel and adhere to the local social distancing regulations. I do hope that you are well and keeping in good spirits. Should you find yourself in need of psychological support, please visit our website. We have listed contact details to a charity organization providing such support. In case of emergency, call the embassy directly and we will provide you with any assistance we can. You've mentioned that you have a child in London who is a minor. Are you able to get help from family and friends to look after him? If not, please contact your local council social services. If you haven't already, please visit www.gov.uk to find useful information for UK citizens abroad who are unable to return due to the pandemic. There are links on how to extend travel insurance, how to apply for universal credit if you've lost your job to coronavirus, and much, much more. I'm looking forward to speaking to you.
Also wenn das alles endet, dann versuchen wir uns zu treffen, irgendein Restaurant gehen, einen leckeren Döner essen. Und bis jetzt hoffe ich, dass mit dir nichts Schlimmes passiert, mit deiner Familie nichts Schlimmes passiert und dass wir das alles gesund überleben und dass es nicht so schlimm wird, wie wie Leute es sagen.
È la prima cosa che bisogna fare, però siamo sicuri che torneremo presto a stringerci le mani, ad abbracciarci e a baciarci tutti molto presto.
Across the Commonwealth and around the world, we have seen heartwarming stories of people coming together to help others. Together we are tackling this disease, and I want to reassure you that if we remain united and resolute, then we will overcome it.
We are past the peak of this disease.
C'est grâce au travail que nous sauvons chaque jour tant de vies.
We have so many reasons to be hopeful.
La vie continue malgré tout, ensemble, unis. Nous surmonterons cette épreuve.
Better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
Praticando un po' più di fitness, un po' più di yoga, meditazione. Io personalmente pratico la meditazione, la mindfulness, e posso dire che fa bene. Vi do ad esempio questa dritta che serve molto nel racconto dei miei corsi. Molto spesso abbiamo dei pensieri.
Klar, aber du musst auch nachdenken, dass diese Situation ist nicht so witzig. Also wir haben fast alle Länder, wir haben die schon krank wegen Corona, die schon krank wegen. Und du musst einfach nachdenken, okay, was kann ich tun?
De garder quand même ce lien social avec l'extérieur, avec les amis.
От психологии человека очень зависит, заболеет он или нет.
Let the virus go through the world population. There will be some people killed, like every year, many people are killed by influenza. There'll be maybe more killed. And then the world population will adjust to the virus.
Если вы будете настроены на оптимистической волне, то ваша иммунная система моментально откликнется, и вам не страшно никакого вируса.
La seule chose qu'on sait, c'est que c'est apparu sur un marché.
So I am concerned, and I do keep up to date about what's happening elsewhere.
In every country, the virus brings the truth.
Turns out, being on your own with yourself isn't so easy. Forced solitude is hard. You suddenly find yourself alone in the company of your doubts, fears, and problems. And there's no world to save you, to keep you away from anxiety. It's hard to distract yourself, to let your hair down, and just breathe. There's no one to talk to, the phone isn't enough, and it's not the same. It's not the same when there's no eye contact, when you can't actually see their reaction. And on top of that, you must constantly remind yourself that this voluntary isolation is really working. That by staying in, you are making a choice that could help those for whom this virus can be fatal. It's hard to start a new day while under this global home arrest, with a nagging feeling that there's just no way out. Then again, who says there isn't one? Perhaps we're just going in circles, making ourselves anxious. But we haven't stopped feeling, and we still dream. Maybe we just need to look around and accept that today is scary for the most of us, and that perhaps this is where we open up to the world and let it in.
No, I can't send an air kiss to you, so I can't send you an air kiss. I want to hug you, not send you an air kiss.
Okay, listen, once this thing is all finished, the main thing we're going to do is we're going to meet up face to face. You're going to get a handshake, you're going to get a hug, and you're going to get a kiss on the cheek. And that's it. I think that's one of the things that people are going to be missing. So those are my words of support to anybody that's out there. Is just being able to see somebody face to face and just to touch and to just have that aura, the interaction of aura between people. That's what I can't wait to do. I can't wait to feel that.
Вам не болеть, всех благ.
Check di nuovo.
Gesundheit.
Sante.
Buzgarov.
Felicita.
Stay healthy. Grazie.
Reste en bonne santé.
Reste en bonne santé.
Stammi bene means in Italian, may you be healthy for me. Stammi bene.
There is no way of telling what the outcome of the coronavirus will be. Whether or not we'll walk away with a mild emotional concussion, counting our losses and grieving the ones we've lost, or if we'll find ourselves facing catastrophic changes to human history. One thing is for sure, the world has changed. It has become exactly what we've been trying to ignore: unpredictable, dangerous, saturated with risks and fatalities. How will this global quarantine, this home arrest end? Will it be our test or our trial? How will we respond to this challenge? And what will keep us afloat? Perhaps it's the simple notion that we're not alone, that we've survived this invisible war together, and that despite the distance, we shared the same feelings from all corners of the world. We shared the feelings of anger, despair, resistance, and acceptance of the new reality. But the most important thing, that even in this unimaginable reality, we managed to stay human, capable of love and compassion, capable of listening and hearing each other, humans who are willing to help and uplift each other.
I don't even know the words, but I'll sing you the chorus. Whoa, we're living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Whoa, we're living on a prayer, living on a prayer. That's just one of them.
Dans mon petit bureau de 7 mètres carrés, j'ai 3 fenêtres qui donnent sur 3 points cardinaux. La fenêtre qui donne au sud, c'est celle de mon ordinateur. Celle-ci donne vers l'ouest, le coucher du soleil. C'est de là qu'arrivent les applaudissements tous les soirs à 20h. J'applaudis aussi. Il y a 1 an ou 2, je suis sorti de ce petit bureau, j'ai descendu les escaliers et je me suis mis au bord de la route, en bas de chez moi, avec pour objectif de rejoindre le village natal de ma grand-mère en Slovaquie, à l'extrême est de la Slovaquie, quasi à la frontière de l'Ukraine. Ah oui, en stop. Le pouce vers l'est. J'ai fait le trajet en sens inverse de ma grand-mère, qui est venue en France en 1936 à pied. J'ai donc fait ces 2047 km à pied et en stop. 27 jours de voyage pour comprendre pourquoi elle a quitté son pays. J'avais sur moi un enregistreur de son, 2 petits micro-cravates, et à chaque conducteur qui me prenait en stop, j'ai demandé les raisons qui l'ont poussé à partir de chez lui. C'est cette dernière fenêtre de mon bureau qui donne vers l'est. J'ai croisé le chemin de Philippe, Romain, Sébastien, Adrien, Francis, Seb, Monique, Ismaël, Ardit, Annalena, Maria, Ludovic, Slauka, Igor, Barbara, Manan, Joseph, Yann. 34 conducteurs en tout. J'ai ramené une quinzaine d'heures de rush en français, en anglais, en allemand, en slovaque. Et voici ma fenêtre d'ordinateur résolument tournée vers l'est. Je suis à monter ces sons pour en raconter une histoire de quête, de racines et finalement de liberté. Ça fait du bien de revivre 27 jours dehors, à rencontrer des gens, souvent incroyables.
American dream. Fantasy, control, to educate one's children, rise in class from poverty to middle class. That belief is easily used to get people to sacrifice themselves to no necessary good end. As long as it works, then it's truly a dream. But when it doesn't work, when it's not possible, as it has not been possible for so many millions of Americans, and today impossible for many millions more than in the past, then it becomes a nightmare. Can Americans remain a decent and kind people? I'm just talking about the average person out there in America, in small towns and cities and across the country. I trust their human decency, their basic human decency and kindness to one another and to strangers. Americans seem, both to strangers and to me, and to maybe even to themselves, to be primarily preoccupied with the community that surrounds them and the environment that immediately surrounds them and the economics of their immediate surround, the physical environment that they have available to them. I think that in my lifetime, I've seen Americans become decent and kindly in terms of race in a way they weren't when I was young. And I've seen them become decent and kindly towards women. And I say that as the father of 4 daughters. And I've seen them become more decent and kindly towards gay people and lesbians, gay men and lesbians. Just in the last few years, I've seen that happen. The American people themselves, I think, will continue to be, and maybe increasingly so, a decent and generous and tolerant people.
Great Falls. Halte sur la route qui nous mène à Amsterdam dans le Montana, à 2 pas du Canada. Les chutes du Missouri ont donné leur nom à la ville. Remonter dans le temps. Great Falls, juin 1805. Des hommes tentent péniblement de se frayer un passage dans les chutes. Ils font partie de l'expédition de Lewis and Clark, un autre duo. Nos prédécesseurs en quelque sorte. De 1804 à 1806, Meriwether Lewis et William Clark entreprennent à la demande du président Jefferson la première expédition qui traverse les États-Unis jusqu'à la côte pacifique. Leur mission, l'étude et la reconnaissance de terres et de peuples inconnus. Leur journal raconte la beauté sauvage de l'Ouest américain, un monde définitivement englouti.
Depuis 40 ans, un autre duo réinterprète cette épopée légendaire. John Toynes et Phil Scriver.
What a shock it would have been if Clark had found that ribbon of asphalt that parallels the Missouri today. While he was searching to find a way past those falls that proved the right river, he charted a course several miles to the south. The core was beset with prickly pear and sharp ruts that took all of their strength to pull the carts over that rough ground. Today we know where that route lies, but we prefer a closer route, though just as long. As we ride or run or stroll and play along the portage route of today.
I would love to go to Dubai because it has the biggest building in the whole world there, the Burj Tower of Dubai. And me and my friend, we look up pictures of it all the time. We look up all the facts about it, and it's just like our dream to see like the biggest building in the world. And it's just absolutely fascinating to know that it's real. I mean, we don't see things like that here. There's not buildings, we see the sky. I think mentally and physically, not like, you know, every minute of the day. But I mean, there's just those moments where you're just looking out the window wishing you were somewhere else.
Chesney est serveuse. Elle a 19 ans. Elle est au courant de notre passage à Great Falls. Elle souhaite nous raconter son histoire. Les confidences sont parfois plus faciles à partager avec des inconnus. Au bar, tout simplement autour d'un café. Une longue histoire.
A few years ago, my parents got a divorce. Just wasn't working out, a lot of financial struggles, I guess, and they ended up splitting. And my mom moved away to San Antonio, Texas, because that's where her family is. That's where my parents met at. And she left and never came back. My dad went bankrupt and I lost everything inside of my house. So I have nothing from my past. I don't have pictures of my mom. I don't have those kind of things. I mean, I have like 5 pictures of my childhood. I know what it's like to lose everything that you have. I wish other people could see what I see. I mean, like, the one thing I wish I would have grabbed out of that house is my photos. But, you know, I didn't. And now I have a much better appreciation for things that can't be replaced, like pictures and childhood things like that. Being with a single parent in a small town like this, it doesn't leave you with many options. So I think a lot of people kind of act out. And everyone in my generation, I mean, everyone's parents are split up. So it's just kind of, it's like a never-ending cycle, I guess. And my generation, we've all seen the recession. We saw our parents get our houses taken away. We saw everyone's parents get divorced. We saw people's parents go crazy. We saw, you know, money come in and money just go, just like in the snap of a finger. I think my generation has that hatred towards the older generation because of what we're left with. It's money. Most people just want money. And they don't appreciate people as they are, I guess. They appreciate what they can get out of them. But that's not what life is about. It's just about meeting other people and hearing their stories. It's not about money. It's not about where you live or how big your house is. And I just think that going to another country, seeing it completely different, I think that money generates hate. And that's why face to face with another human is so much more than money. I see tribes, I see people that have paint on. I see people with paint on their bodies. I see people dancing, and there's no radios. I see people making the music. I don't see people talking on their cell phones or their Bluetooth. I don't see any of that. I don't know everything about Africa. I don't know any of the languages, but I think I like it that way. I want to just be dropped off there and figure it out. I guess I don't really know what's better than that. Meeting someone that was born into that, I guess. Born into, walking a mile to get water, or to get clean water at least, not even clean water, just to get what they call water. And some Americans don't even drink tap water. It's just completely different. Our country it's a wonderful country. I mean, we are free people, but at the same time, it's not necessarily that we are free, it's that the things that we do in order to be free. It's going into other countries, invading them, and telling them, that's how America does it, why don't you do it that way? We can't just do that forever and just get away with it, I don't necessarily want to live the American dream. I don't want to strive to be the American dream. What our country lacks is the genuine human emotions. I mean, I'd like to have faith in our country, but the reality of it hasn't changed since I've been alive. I guess the things that I've seen and the things that I've seen other people go through. I just hope something changes. I want to be with people that don't know anything about me. I want people that don't even know what it's like where I come from. I want everything to be different. If you don't have faith in people, then where are you gonna go? I mean, that's just the way it should be, I think, because that's all we have is each other. But in America, it's it's not like that. It's not like that anymore. And I just don't think that this is what our country was intended to be like. I think it was set on the right path, but I think that human nature just drove it to the other side.
Amsterdam, Montana. Le vide. C'est dimanche. Le seul lieu ouvert, c'est l'église. La communauté y écoute son pasteur, le pasteur Jack.
What Amsterdam is today still has a very significant connection to what it started off as 120 years ago.
So we always find a different checkpoint here and there, and we always kind of knew where we were.
When the original settlers came here in the late 1800s, they had a certain suspicion about American culture. And so part of that suspicion manifested itself, for example, in maintaining the Dutch language in its church worship services, and it manifested itself also in the establishment of a separate school. That sense of separation continued until World War II. In World War II, many men from the community, for the first time, left the community and experienced the world outside of the community. And in doing so, their horizons were broadened. Also, they began to realize that the language of the community had to change. And therefore, in the 1940s, the worship services switched from Dutch to English, and the community began to sense that it was still a separate entity. There was this strong identity with being part of a Dutch immigrant heritage. People in Bozeman still, many of them to this day, think of this as the Holland settlement or the Dutch community, and that sense of being separate is still fostered to some extent by the fact that the Christian school every year has a large fundraiser called a Dutch Supper, where all traditional Dutch foods, particularly from the Groninger and the Fries background, are served. The other thing that I think really identified them as a community was neatness, cleanliness. There was also a very strong work ethic. There were a lot of unwritten rules about what you could do on Sunday, because within the Dutch Reformed tradition, Sunday was viewed as the Lord's Day, and the only work that was ever done was necessary work. Farmers, for example, perhaps would come to Sunday and it would be the first day after a period of rain where they could go back into the fields and work, but they wouldn't. Baths or bathing took place once a week on Saturday afternoon or late Saturday afternoon, early Saturday evening, so everybody would smell halfway decent when they came to church on Sunday. We referred to it as the Sabbath, with kind of an Old Testament sense of what Sabbath was all about. Resting from all the work. Somewhere in the early 1960s or the mid 1960s, this young man from the Dutch community, he grew up on a farm 2 miles south of Churchill, Amsterdam area. He married a young woman from the neighboring town of Manhattan. And I recall hearing my parents talk about this marriage with shock, because they said someone from our community had married an American, which was hard for us as high school. I was a high school student at the time. It was hard for us to understand how she was an American, but we weren't. It was part of that transition from being a colony of Dutch immigrants to being an integral part of the American way of life. Well, I told you the other day that I wouldn't say it is a claim to fame, because it's not a thing that I'm particularly proud of, but in my high school graduating class, I was the only student who was ever expelled from the school. And I was expelled for mouthing off to a teacher and for being insubordinate to the principal. So I was asked to leave the school, and I was told I couldn't come back to the school until I told my parents what I had done. And so when I graduated from high school in 1966, I set off for Grand Rapids, Michigan to Calvin College, because it was the furthest away from home. And only 3 weeks before my seminary studies were completed, someone approached me and said, "I've been watching you in class. I'm a missionary in Argentina. I think you should come and join our team there." To make a long story short, that's what happened. So we moved to Buenos Aires for a year of language study, and then 7 years of church planting in the interior of the province of Buenos Aires in Argentina. The most difficult thing about coming back in terms of my past was, as I said, I was not a student with model behavior. If they were behaviors that were out of character, those things have been stored in the community's memory banks. And so I was very much aware of that. Although I will say very honestly that that memory of community expectations and community memories certainly did not overly influence my decision to come here.
Montana is my home. It's beautiful here. It's huge. I love Montana. It's my entire family. I mean, my family is here. My home is here. My children are here. I can't imagine leaving. I can't imagine leaving. It's the most beautiful place. I mean, I could just get lost in the sky. When you ride the horse too, I mean, you lean back and you like open up your lungs and you just breathe it in, and it's amazing.
Carly est la petite fille de Joe Danoff. En 1948, il a fait la couverture du Time Magazine comme entrepreneur de l'année. Le rêve américain. Pour reprendre son business, Carly était prédestinée. Une lourde charge. Son garage est le deuxième pilier du village, après l'église.
My grandfather was a good man. He was a Christian, and he was so, like, ethically good. He wasn't just famous for his cars. People from all over the valley would come and ask for his advice and just to talk to him. He was a good listener. There's a reason we're stuck out in the middle of nowhere. We've been there since 1937. I mean, it's because they know our reputation, and you know, their grandparents bought from my grandpa, and then their kids, and now their grandkids are coming just because of the way that they were treated and what a great guy he was. I remember a story that he told me. There was a guy that was, well, he's still here in the community. He went away on the war, and he bought a car from my grandpa, and he gave it to his girlfriend. And he bought the car for $2,500. And he went away, and his girlfriend started driving the car. Well, he heard that this girl was taking out other guys in the car. And so he called my grandpa up and said, will you please go get the car and sell the car for me? And my grandpa did. He sold it for $3,000 and kept the money for the soldier that came back. It was kind of funny. Doing the right thing. We've had a couple instances where dealers they've paid us too much on another vehicle, like we do dealer trades. And your first instinct is to say, well, that's their fault. You know, it's their loss. But then I can always remember my grandpa saying, you know, that isn't how we do it. And then, you know, and then once we do it and we call the dealer up and we, you know, give them the money, then it's, you know, they're so thankful, and then that's what they remember, you know, about my grandpa. You know, it's just stuff like that. It's like little things, but in the end, they just mean a lot. My father is a great man. We're extremely, extremely close. I mean, we sit a foot away from each other. And I think I can't even hardly go through a day without asking him his opinion. I mean, I'm 32 years old, and I mean, even my husband's like, are you really gonna ask your dad that? All the guys that work for us I mean, they respect him. I think they're halfway afraid of him, not in a way that, but they just, anything that he says goes. I mean, when he speaks, they listen. He's more reserved and quiet. He's the thinker. He's very much a loner. His famous saying is, fix the problem, not the blame. I mean, it does not matter if someone screws up there. He hardly ever gets mad at them. I mean, I honor my father so much. Like, I think he's like, and my grandpa, I mean, I think they're extraordinary men. And my grandma, I mean, like I said, if I can be like half the people that they are, it will be something. So. A lot of my friends married their high school sweethearts, and it becomes almost easier because they go to the same church, or the one, you know, there's two churches here, so they go to one church, and it's just easy. I mean, it's like the easy way to do things. I mean, I don't know if I was determined, but I was pretty set on the fact that I didn't really want to marry someone from here. I just kind of wanted to be different?
For me, predestination means simply that the ultimate destination is determined, but I have absolute freedom to write the chapters of my life history that lead up to that ultimate destination, because God puts things in my way that steer me in a new direction. But still, He never forces me to take those steps. He allows me the freedom to take them on my own.
Again, like Pastor Jack said, I feel my ultimate, destiny is already determined. And, when He closes one door, another door opens. So, yes, in some aspects, but I'm given free will to screw up, essentially.
I came here simply because I felt compelled by God to come here. Someone said to me when I was making that decision, Jesus says a prophet is not honored in his own country. And I said, well, He said that, but that didn't keep Him from going to His own country to do His work. And it's not going to keep me from coming back to my own country to do my work.
Pause cigarette. À 2 pas des Rocky Mountains. Je savoure.
Peu de chances qu'ici on se plaigne d'un fumeur. L'espace est si vaste qu'on ne sent rien. En Amérique, le fumeur est stigmatisé. Mon compagnon de route ne semble plus dans l'air du temps. En plus, il a mal aux dents.
All right, Roger, we're going to do an oral cancer screening. We do this every 6 months visually, but once a year with our special light, which we shine into your mouth. And if there is some pathology in the tissue that we cannot see with a naked eye, the idea of the light is to make a fluorescence of the tissue. Now, unfortunately for you, you have some added risk factors. You are a smoker. And my name is Robert Amsterdam. I go by the nickname Bob. Most of us with the name of Amsterdam, when we speak to one another, find that we're related. There are Amsterdams who came from Poland, from Hungary and Russia. And when we discuss our backgrounds, we often come to a point where we come from very geographically similar areas. And I'm going to ask you to put on these protective glasses, and we'll turn the room lights off. My story is of a child who hated to go to school. My third grade school teacher was a woman whose maiden name was Amsterdam. Her brother was my dentist as a child, and he was David Amsterdam, the only Amsterdams I knew outside of my immediate family. My third grade teacher had great difficulty with me. I was not an easy recipient of her instruction. Long division didn't come to me very easily. But what was nice in my story is that when I became a successful dentist after having gone to a very good university, I was able to go back and leave a note in her brother's mailbox, who was my dentist, and that note said, "Please tell your sister that I finally learned my long division," and I almost became a math major in undergraduate school. So I would say that the moral of the story is that there's potential in all of us, and that we really shouldn't diminish one's abilities by their early performance, and that we should keep an open mind and develop the best that we can.
And now, please put your tongue forward all the way. I'm going to grab the end of it. And we're looking at the bottom of your tongue and the side of your tongue. And please say ah. Ah. Okay. People often would come to me professionally partly because of the name. It's a name that doesn't reveal my background, which is one of being a Jew. So in that respect, it's a wonderful name because it really reflected origins of a place that people thought well of. And you're fortunate at this point. Of course, this doesn't give you the okay to continue to smoke. I hope that you stop to see your great-grandchildren.
En route vers l'Idaho. À la suite de sa traversée continentale, John Steinbeck écrit dans son roman Travels with Charlie in Search of America. En dépit de notre étendue géographique, de notre humanité venue de tous les coins du monde, nous sommes semblables dans notre américanisme. Les Américains sont beaucoup plus américains que septentrionaux, méridionaux, occidentaux ou orientaux. Et les descendants d'Anglais, d'Irlandais, d'Italiens, de Juifs, d'Allemands et de Polonais ont plus de points communs que de dissemblances. Et ceci est d'autant plus remarquable que c'est arrivé vite.
These are a few rare documents that I have saved from the Amsterdam area and town. This is my grandmother and great aunt standing in front of the Amsterdam school. And this is the hotel that C.L. Kunkel, my great-grandfather, ran for many years. This is a Bisbee photograph of the Amsterdam, Idaho, which includes the store, the hotel, and the grain elevator.
Amsterdam, Idaho. 14e étape. The sound of silence. Un paysage désertique, quelques maisons éparses, un silo à blé abandonné, 3 figures du Wild West.
Hi, I'm Don Peters. I live in Amsterdam, Idaho.
Hi, I'm Alex Kunkel, and I'm from the Amsterdam, Idaho area.
Hi, I'm Garrett Peters. Our family resided in Amsterdam when I was born, and I lived there all through my childhood to an adult.
The town of Amsterdam was very small. It got hurt pretty bad in the Depression. Well, there was probably less than 50 people at the maximum in Amsterdam.
I guess I really never thought a whole lot about the name other than the fact that we were from Dutch heritage, and that is probably why they named the town Amsterdam.
Well, growing up in the Amsterdam area, things were spread out, and we either drove a motorcycle or a pickup because things were several miles away.
Well, basically it just means that the people that settled Amsterdam were from Holland, and that was the name they chose. I intended to go to Holland. We made plans to go there once, and something happened. We wasn't able to go, and I never did make it there.
I've never been to any other Amsterdam besides Amsterdam, Idaho.
I enjoy looking off into the mountains and seeing the snow-capped peaks and seeing the rock structures. You're aware of your surroundings all the time.
The night I met my wife, I threw a cake at her. I threw the cake at a cake raffle. I threw it at another girl I knew, and it missed and hit what now is my wife. And I think that is one of my best memories. I use a motorcycle to drive cattle and herd them from field to field, and gather individual ones as needed if they need help calving. It's just like a horse. It's just a little faster, and they don't get away because my horse doesn't get tired. My dreams are exactly what I'm doing, farming and ranching. I'm doing what I did when I grew up and just doing it for myself now. I was at the shop and there was a thunderstorm over in the Salmon Dam area, headed toward Rogerson. And the lightning struck 20 feet in front of me. I was looking right at the bolt, and you could see this shaft of lightning, what looked to be about 2 inches around, striking the ground and sizzling and just going bzzz. And then it went snap. And when it went snap, and then it went bang. And when it went bang, the shaft of lightning turned into fire, and my left ear was slightly damaged from it. I still use the telephone on my right ear. And after that point, I didn't photograph lightning anymore. Lightning doesn't only strike, it can have several fingers off of one strike that can get you.
La radio annonce une tempête de neige. Hospitalité chez les Shoshones et les Paiutes. La réserve indienne est celle de Duck Valley, à la frontière du Nevada. Ici est relégué un des peuples antiques. Le maître légitime du continent, comme l'appelait Tocqueville. On l'oublie parfois. La plupart des États que l'on traverse ont un nom d'origine amérindienne. L'Ohio vient de l'Iroquois et signifie « bonne rivière ». Texas veut dire « allié » ou « ami » en langue caddo. L'Iowa est une tribu Sioux. Wisconsin désigne le lieu où il y a de l'herbe à fumer, en Chippewa. Amsterdam signifie le barrage sur le fleuve Amstel. C'est aussi simple. Et c'est aussi un lieu où il y a de l'herbe à fumer.
projet. À quoi penses-tu?
Tout et rien. Tout est contradictoire. Effroi et fascination. Paysages grandioses et normalités banales des provinces américaines. Un nouveau monde fatigué, abîmé. Pour moi, ce pays garde sa part d'ombre et de mystère. Alors j'écoute. J'écoute des gens disponibles, ouverts, généreux. Parfois sous contrôle, comme nous.
Mais ça, c'est général. Quel est ton état d'âme?
C'est délicat. À la fois dehors et dedans. Je retiens tous ces visages. Un visage de l'Amérique. Je pense à des mots. Peut-être à des chimères. Le hasard. L'histoire. La route. Vivre le monde. La rêverie. Et puis, dans cet espace, la solitude de tous. La solitude surtout. Et toi?
C'est étrange. Tu me diras que c'est normal en tant qu'étranger. Mais c'est bien plus fort. Un sentiment d'étrangeté. L'image d'un empire sur son retour. Sans doute moins arrogant. J'ai vu des gens étrangement focalisés sur leur environnement immédiat. Étrange. C'est le seul mot qui me vient toujours en tête. Un atterrissage sur Mars. A landing on Mars.
Las Vegas, la ville des péchés familiaux.
Pour certains, Las Vegas est un rêve. Pour d'autres, rien qu'une façade. C'est la dernière étape pour les stars, comme Elvis, The King. C'est le décor idéal pour rencontrer une héroïne d'opéra, Tanya.
I'm 58 years old. I've been around the block a bunch of times. I was adopted right after the Korean War. I was adopted at the age of 5. I was born in a stable, just like Jesus. But anyway, I was born in Korea, and right after the war, these drunken Marines came down and they raped about 6 Korean girls. But my family loved me. My Korean family loved me. And I was there until I was 5. But at the time in Korea, the Koreans are very, very prejudiced motherfuckers. And I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. They were trying to kill all the half children because they didn't want their race to be mixed. They wouldn't let me go to school. They wouldn't let me go to the hospital because your father is who you are. So they had us in orphanages, and we were not allowed to do anything. If you were pretty, you could be a prostitute. That was your career goal. Or you could be a servant. So my mom made a decision that I should be put up for adoption, and that someday she would come and find me. And at that time, this whole orphanage, this Christian family heard about all these orphans being put to death. And so they came out and they put up all these orphanages. And so I was adopted to a very, very religious family. I came from a family that we laughed, giggled, was loving, to this stern Christian, fanatic Christian. Oh my God, in my church, the men couldn't even wear ties because that was cause of vanity. I grew up with this family, and my mother decided that she was going to raise me the way that she was raised in the 40s or 50s. Oh my God, it was the most horrible thing I've ever endured in my life. I was half Korean in an all-American school. They made fun of me. They called me Jap. They called me Gook. They called me everything. We didn't have a television, but I'd go to my girlfriend's house and watch television. And I would see these female aliens and all these beautiful go-go girls. And I said, my goal is, I grew up in Barstow. I'm gonna leave this town and I'm gonna look exactly like those women. That is my goal, because I came here, I was gonna be a school teacher, and but I was obsessed with makeup. I lived it. I loved it. And I didn't know how to go about it, but somehow it came to me, and I said, you know, I see these magazines. You know, these women don't wake up looking like this. They got to have somebody teaching them. So when I came in town, I began to investigate of like makeup artists and who are these people who are making these people look fabulous. And I decided, I want to be one of those people. I want to be the best makeup artist in the universe. I want to become really special. So I came up to Hustler, and you know, I didn't know exactly what Hustler was. I knew that it was nude, but I didn't know it was that nude, you know, where they showed, you know, like this is regular, and then this is like, you know, their insides down here. But I wanted it to be a makeup artist and see dreams come true.
Un peu plus tard, le spectacle touche à sa fin. Dernier acte. Plus de show, plus d'histoire.
My dearest memory is losing my husband. I miss him every day, and he's the one that kind of reunited my family and my mom together. He made every day, he made my day like I wanted to be when I was a child. He treated me like a child. He gave me special parties. He went to restaurants. He had the menu done in my name, everything. I mean, he made my childhood come to life. He gave me back my childhood.
El túnel que atravesé fue de México para Estados Unidos. Comenzamos el caminata, caminamos por debajo del túnel. Era un túnel oscuro, lleno de polvo. Olía mal, mucha gente que iban al mismo destino de nosotros. Al final miramos la luz del túnel y al salir miramos cientos de personas esperando a cruzar la frontera. Había desierto, había montañas y tierra por todas partes. Al salir del túnel y al mirar la luz del otro lado, mi sentimiento fue decir, ¿dónde estoy? ¿Qué sucede ahora? Estoy fuera de un túnel, pero voy a lo inesperado.
Amsterdam, California. C'est notre dernière étape. Une immense propriété, isolée, entourée de canaux sans doute creusés par les Hollandais il y a plus de 100 ans. D'ailleurs, il n'y a plus de Hollandais.
Amsterdam in California looks busy. We have tractors, we have big trucks, we have school buses, we have cars driving back and forth. It's a nice neighborhood. The people, the neighbors, they are very kind. We watch over each other. It's a very beautiful place, very pleasant, very comfortable place to be. You know, when you first hear the name of Amsterdam, you think about the Netherlands, right? And you kind of think like, wow, I'm living in a piece of history of a different part of the world. So it's nice to live in this Amsterdam road.
Véronica, arrivée clandestinement du Mexique, a trouvé son salut dans l'unique ranch d'Amsterdam. À force de volonté, elle s'est fait une place dans ce milieu compétitif, rugueux et terrien.
L'histoire de son patron, Peter Koch, est tout autre. Il est venu ici par choix. Il est le propriétaire de 29 hectares d'amandiers. Ils sont en fleurs 3 semaines par an. C'est maintenant.
The reason I'm here in Amsterdam, California is purely because I was naive, very naive. I knew that I wanted to live on a farm, but I was originally from Canada, Vancouver, which I would always call the concrete jungle. And I had a yearning to live in the country. When we came here, we were at the bottom and we had nowhere to go. And I remember it was a winter, I believe it was 94, it was quite cold. And I could see steam coming from my breath, sitting next to my new bride in the bed, laying in the bed. And I said, I want to quit. It's over. I want to go home. But my wife was very, very Dutch, very, very pushy, and she said, we can do it, we can do it. I often think about how immature and really it's amazing that we did what we did, considering that there really was nothing here except for dirt and weeds. I'm very down to earth in a way. I feel that we only get to do this once, and I don't have time to mess around. I want to do it the right way the first time.
Can you find out how many loaves we fed today?
Yeah. ¿Cuántos viajes feriaron a hoy?
Juan Manuel, ¿cuántos viajes feriaste hoy?
I put myself in this, and I chose not to work from 9 to 5 anymore. I wanted to do more than 9 to 5. I wanted to do more than what my job description was. I wanted to be the boss. So I think that's why I am where I am. A great part of our success with our business is because of our honesty. We do nothing underhanded, and that is, why is that? Is that because my parents were honest and my wife's parents were honest? We all know what right and wrong is. That I'm not sure if that comes with us,
So I don't
or
understand
if
why
it's
we can't
planted
get
in
the
us.
number right here. Is it 15, 16, or is it 17?
Pedro quiere saber si por qué los números no están correctos, si tenemos 15, 16, 17, podemos figurarlo, ¿sabes?
I personally don't feel I give people the opportunity to make many mistakes. So for Veronica to be here for as many years as she has made very few mistakes. And she has done well under my iron fist.
He is strict in a way, in a good way. I have learned a lot of good things from him that I hope that I will keep forever, and that will help me through my life. As my employer, he have gave me the opportunity to learn from his life, to share his family. He had allowed me to be part of his family, besides being his employee. And And he knows, and I think, he knows that I really, really appreciate that a lot.
I think being an immigrant is not always easy because you are always comparing. You're comparing your homeland with your new land, and there's always pros and cons to the new land. When times are tough, the old country looks better, and when times are good, you don't look back.
I never pictured in my head what I wanted it to be when I grew older, but now that I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I do have a dream, to see myself into being free first in this country, and then traveling and knowing other countries. I don't believe in destiny. I believe in choices and decisions, and I made that decision, and I accepted the job, and here I am. And that's because I made that choice.
I feel completely in control of my life. I think I control my destiny. I'm the one, I make the decisions and I live with them. I don't think, I think the book is man-made, and man did not make plants and life and soil. Man made a book. And the people that perhaps need the book the most can't read the book. When I was younger, I asked many times for God to come and talk to me if He's there, and He never did. So I think it's man. It's man-made. I think man makes everything. One morning, Rochelle woke me up. She was 3 weeks before she was expected to give birth. And she said she thought her water had broken, and so we went to the hospital at 6 o'clock in the morning. I believe around 2 o'clock that afternoon she gave birth to a little boy by the name of Nicholas. And Nicholas didn't, perhaps he was a little, he didn't have the vigor of a newborn. He was a little, shall we say, perhaps weak, but we didn't know. We were naive. I was told I should go home because Rochelle was going to rest. By the time I got home, which was probably a 15-minute drive from the hospital, there was a message at the house here from the doctor. Little Nicholas was a little blue in the face, and off he went with these people and lived there for 6 days and then passed away. So we decided to name our ranch after Nicholas, and so that's how we sort of commemorate his being. We deal with animals that they die from the very similar diseases that humans die from. We've seen how fragile life is, that Nicholas's life was as fragile. When my second son, Christian, was born, that was probably the happiest time in my life. It was the the new beginning for us. I don't think any of us are ever prepared. There's no education, no schooling for how you deal with an infant dying. But I think it's part of the story, though, of the Wild West, of the wagon train.
This is it. Nous sommes dos à l'Amérique, à Bekshore précisément. Devant nous, l'océan Pacifique. Il fallait atteindre ce rivage. Un rêve, une droom, a dream. La route est derrière nous. Une autre histoire commence. Le voyage peut se réinventer.
Un voyage dans le temps. Durant ces mois, mon image de l'Amérique s'est transformée. Dorénavant, l'Amérique, pour moi, c'est Amsterdam. Un monde dans le monde.